Chapter 2370. White smoke quickly filled the entire bank lobby. Lin Ge could no longer see Bai Shang's figure after he rushed out of the smoke. The masked men who had surrounded Su Yun also quickly retreated. They were very organized and disciplined. Definitely not a motley crew. "Are you okay?" Su Yun saw Lin Ge choking and coughing and quickly went up to him. Lin Ge waved his hand vigorously, indicating to Su Yun that he was fine. "Everything is okay. Nothing unexpected happened, right? Chong Mo escaped." Su Yun knew that Chong Mo had escaped without him knowing. Because the masked men were going to attack the two people in the driver's seat, Su Yun was in a hurry to save them and did not have time to worry about Chong Mo. At that time, all the masked men's attacks were directed at Su Yun, so Chong Mo had a chance. If she seized that opportunity, her escape would be very smooth. At that time, no one would notice her, let alone stop her. Lin Ge was stunned. Are they really in cahoots? It doesn't look like it. They weren't rescued. They escaped on their own. Su Yun said, "Their target is the Arbola weapon. They're definitely not from the same organization as Sky's Eye." "That's right." Lin Ge said, "I didn't expect that son of a B*TCH to be able to hide so well. He's been fooling us all this time. He's really invested a lot, throwing a car at us. In order to get that thing, I'm afraid a lot of people are willing to pay any price." "What's a car compared to that?" Su Yun said. The crime squad and the SWAT team who received the report came and immediately took control of the scene. The ambulance also came later. Although there was a shooting at the scene, no one was killed. The injured people were quickly sent away by the ambulance. The two men from Hong Kong and Macau finally recovered from the shock. They probably still hadn't digested what had just happened. One of them still had obvious marks on his neck. Fortunately, Su Yun had arrived in time to help him. Otherwise, he might have been strangled to death. Su Yun and the others were naturally brought back to the police station as well. After Su Yun found the police leader and communicated with him, he immediately contacted Wan Guangxiao and told him what had happened. Wan Guangxiao told them to go to the police station first and that he would come to pick them up personally. Although Su Yun and the others left Hong Kong and Macau, the other 4 members of Sky's Eye did not know about this. After they adjusted their bodies, the first thing they did was to sneak into Hong Kong and Macau again. After many inquiries, they found the prison in the Yantian district. It could be said that Heaven's Eye's goal this time was very simple. In order to save Chong Mo, he was willing to pay any price and disregard all consequences. However, just as they were about to make their move, they received news that Chong Mo had been taken away by Su Yun to the mainland. This news was like a bolt from the blue to them. Father had sternly told them that without his permission, no one, no matter what, was allowed to enter Huaxia's mainland without his permission. That was a place full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. With their level of skill, they would definitely not be able to return if they entered. Because of this, they had never dared to take half a step into Huaxia's forbidden area. Therefore, with such a thing happening today, they really didn't know what to do. "Huaxia can't enter." Gu Li was the first to speak. "If Chong Mo is really taken to the mainland, we need to plan for the long term. Do you still remember what Father told us? Nian Yi, especially you can't be rash." Of course, Nian Yi knew that Huaxia could not enter. Therefore, he was in a very bad mood. Was he supposed to just watch Chong Mo be taken away without doing anything? Ken Kong took a deep breath. "Huaxia can't enter. Every one of us knows this. However, the situation this time is special. I'll go to the prison to investigate first and confirm the authenticity of this news." Jie Fei said. "Then there's no need to go to the prison." Kan Kong said, "The risk of going to the prison is very high. It's very dangerous for you to go in alone. Let's go directly to the police station and look for LV Huarong. Only his words can be true." Nian Yi immediately stood up. "I'll go now." "You can't do it alone." "I'll go with you," Gu Li said. He then turned to Kan Kong and Jie Fei. "You two wait for our news. If anything happens to us, you can think of another way." Tian Yan's movements were very swift this time. Gu Li and Nian Yi did not need to waste too much energy to reach LV Huarong's office. LV Huarong did not even understand what was going on. When he saw the two strangers, his face darkened as he said, "Who are you? Is this a place where you can enter as you please?" Just as he finished speaking, Nian Yi had already pressed the fountain pen on the table against LV Huarong's temple. "I'm asking you, where's Chong Amo?" LV Huarong's mind buzzed. He could not believe that Tian Yan's people would be so bold as to barge into the police station's office. How audacious! "You'd better tell us clearly that our target is not you. As long as you explain everything clearly, we won't make things difficult for you." Gu Li said, "Also, where did Su Yun go? Where did he put the things he brought back from Taiwan?" Phew, it seemed that his decision was correct. LV Huarong let out a long sigh of relief. Letting Su Yun leave Hong Kong with the Ebola virus weapon and Chong Mo was indeed a form of protection for Hong Kong and Macau. If the people and the things were still in Hong Kong and Macau, what would he do as the director? Was it to protect his life or the things? The things and people were taken away by Su Yun. They're not in Hong Kong or Macau at all. LV Huarong said, after they came back, they dealt with the procedures and returned to the mainland. The things and people are things that the mainland wants. We don't have the right to keep them, so they're not in Hong Kong or Macau at all. Damn it! This news was actually true. Nian Yi almost stabbed LV Huarong to death. Gu Li glared at him. Now was not the time for them to cause trouble for themselves. If they hurt LV Huarong, they would definitely get into unnecessary trouble. They could only sneak into the mainland through the border between Guangshan City and Hong Kong and Macau to have a chance to save Chong Mo. How long have they been gone? Gu Li questioned. Although they had been gone for nearly 20 hours, LV Huarong did not tell the truth. They haven't been gone for long, only a few hours. What should we do? Nian Yi asked anxiously. Gu Li went forward and knocked LV Huarong unconscious with a karate chop. Let's go. We need to discuss this with Can Kong. This is a serious matter. I'm afraid we can't make the decision on our own. Moreover, we can't stay in Hong Kong or Macau any longer. If someone finds out that LV Huarong was attacked in his office, they'll definitely put us on the wanted list. Okay, let's go now. Nian Yi threw the pen away and the two of them quickly left. The police station did not realize that something had happened. The two of them quickly returned and met up with Can Kong and Jie. They explained the situation and the four of them immediately fell into silence. After a while, Gu Li said, "They've only been gone for a few hours. If we think of a way to chase after them, we might still have a chance." A few hours. Although we can believe that the person was taken away, what he said about a few hours, is it true or not? Jie Ji asked. Can Kong nodded. Jie's worry is very necessary. We can't be sure how many hours they've been gone. We can't estimate the time. I don't think he would tell us the truth. Nian Yi said, then no matter what, we have to take a gamble. We can't just sit here and wait for death. We won't get anything if we do. Of course we can't just sit here and wait for death, Can Kong said. But we can't act rashly either. After all, they've been taken to the mainland. Even if we want to save them, we have to get in touch with Father first. Otherwise, if we enter Hua Xia like this, it's very likely that... I can't care that much, Nian Yi said. Nian Yi said, if they've really just left, then wasting our time is equivalent to ruining our chances. They'll only leave early, not late, Gu Li analyzed. If they've just left, we'll definitely hear the police talking about this from time to time. However, we haven't. This means that things aren't that simple. Chapter 2371. We can't make the decision on this matter. Can Kong was still very rational. He knew that his father had to make the decision on this matter. The four of them knew that this matter was of great importance. They immediately retreated to a place where it was convenient to enter Hua Xia and also to leave at any time. Can Kong had never taken the initiative to contact his father during a mission. They would only rush back as soon as the mission was completed. This mission had taken so long that it was obvious that something had gone wrong. When he took the initiative to contact them, he quickly received a simple answer. Everyone was waiting for Kan Kong to give them a reply. Kan Kong simply said 2 words: "Go back." This answer was clearly not what they wanted. Even Kan Kong's emotions were greatly affected. The 2 words "go back" implied that they had given up. This was something that they could not accept. Everyone was silent. That kind of deathly stillness made people feel infinitely oppressed. Heavens, I had never suffered such a blow. I know what you're all thinking. I didn't want to receive such an answer either. Kan Kong said, but an order is an order. I don't know how to respond. Gu Li took a deep breath. Are we really going to give up just like that? Are you saying that we've failed? Jesu said, didn't you make it clear that we still have a chance of getting everything back? Of course I did. I've explained everything. Kan Kong said, I said that we still have a chance. But it seems that Father will never allow us to go to Huaxia. Nian Yi laughed bitterly. So we're going to let Chongma be taken away alone? Are we going to sit back and do nothing? Give up on Chongma and the 4 of us go back? How can we still have the face to go back? Even if Father allows us to go back, I really don't have the face to do so. Then what do you want? Kan Kong said calmly, tell us what you think. Even if I die outside, I won't choose to go back. Nian Yi said, if you go back, please help me tell them that I've let Father down for raising me all these years. Please forgive me for being unfilial. I can't leave Chongma behind and go back alone. Gu Li said calmly, it's not just you. We can't leave Chongma behind and go back either. Gu Li's words stunned Nian Yi. He lifted his head to look at Gu Li before looking at Kan Kong and Jiesu. What was different this time was that Remnant Void didn't directly reject his decision. His expression was filled with struggle. Perhaps this was a difficult choice for him to make. Is there anyone else who doesn't want to go back? Remnant Void suddenly asked. Jiesu looked up at the sky and uttered a simple word, me. Gu Li, Nian Yi, and Jie Hypocrite all expressed their thoughts. This was the first time they had this kind of mentality. They didn't want to do as their father asked. This was the first time. They had never thought of going against their father's wishes before. A mysterious smile appeared on Remnant Void's face. I don't want to go back either. Are you all crazy? Nian Yi looked a little shocked as he stared at the other 3. Why would they make such a choice? The 3 of them didn't say anything. Silence descended once again. You can't all be like this. Nian Yi said, I can't give up because of Chongma. But you can't all go against our father's orders. Remnant Void, have you thought this through? You can't do this. You should take them with you and leave. You want me to do that, but why don't you do it? Remnant Void said, we don't want to give up on Chongma. That's why we... But that's equivalent to going against our father's wishes. Nian Yi said. Gu Li smiled as well. I've never gone against our father's wishes in all my life. In fact, I've never thought of going against our father's wishes. I don't even dare to think of going against our father's wishes. But it's different this time. Father, are you really willing to give up on Chongma? If we give up on Chongma and go back to protect ourselves, I'm afraid I won't be able to live in peace for the rest of my life. Jiesu said, no matter what, I want to make a decision for my own sake this time. Nian Yi was stunned. But Father's decisions have always been right. We should all believe in Father's decisions. He won't harm us. That's right. Remnant Void said, Father has decided to let us go back. That means that if we don't follow his wishes and enter Huaxia, the chances of saving Chongma are minuscule. It might be 1%, or 1 in 1,000, or even 1 in 10,000. Gu Li added, it's also possible that if we go, we'll just be sending ourselves to our deaths. We won't have a chance at all. That's why Father would rather give up on Chongma and make such a decision. He. Then why are you still making such a choice? Nian Yi didn't understand. She really didn't understand. Aren't you the same? Remnant Void said, because even if Father thinks that we don't have a chance, we're still hoping for a fluke. Even if there's a 1 in 10,000 chance, we have to grab it first. We don't want to give up. We just want to grab this 1 in 10,000 chance and save Chongma, isn't that right? Everyone fell silent. Nian Yi didn't say anything because Remnant Void was right. He did have that 1 in 10,000 chance in his heart. Everyone has a 1 in 10,000 chance in their heart. The 4 of us together have a 4 in 10,000 chance. Remnant Void smiled. The chance has increased by 4 times. Do you think we should go back or not? Nian Yi laughed bitterly. You're really crazy. Do you know what the consequences of going against Father's orders are? If we fail, we'll only end up dead. Remnant Void said, but if we succeed, as long as we can save Chongma, so what if we get punished? Then let's do it, Jesu said. I don't want to admit defeat. I don't believe that we'll lose to that Su Yun. Their strong sense of pride gave rise to a strong sense of confidence in their hearts. They acted as soon as they said they would. They were only a short distance away from the mainland. With their abilities, it was a piece of cake. Now that all 4 of them had agreed, their actions became much faster. Even though they didn't understand why they still needed to ask for their father's opinion and orders when they had already made their own decision. In reality, they were all thinking about each other. They had thought of sacrificing themselves, but they didn't want to sacrifice their brothers. They all hoped that the other party would listen to their father's orders and go back, leaving the matter to them. That was what they truly thought. What happened in Yanjing caused a lot of media coverage, but most people mistook it for a bank robbery. Those who really knew the reason wouldn't announce the truth. They just let the media report everything according to what they thought. After Su Yun, Lin Gu, and the others were taken to the police station, they recorded their statements and explained in detail what had happened. They didn't tell the police what was in the black suitcase they were carrying and refused to be searched. The police didn't have a good feeling about this. Su Yun only emphasized to them that there was a criminal, a female criminal with handcuffs on her hands and feet. She had escaped and was wanted. However, the police didn't make any arrangements. They had been entangled with a secret in the black suitcase in Su Yun's hands. Mr. Su, although you have already said that you are from the military and someone will come to look for you in a while, since you have already come to our station, you should cooperate with our work. We have to open the suitcase and check it. No matter who you are, you can't avoid it. This is confidential. It's not for people of your level to come in contact with, understand? Lin Gu said, How many times have I told you? Why are you still not done? The police didn't have a good attitude towards Lin Gu. Who are you? No one can prove your identity, so you don't have the right to speak here. I don't have the right to speak? Lin Gu said unhappily, Let me tell you, what I have done is more significant than what you have done in your lifetime. You say I don't have an identity? I don't have an identity, but I can still do these things that you can't do. Su Yun signaled Lin Gu to calm down and said to the police, If my chief comes and agrees to let you see it, then I have no objection. However, before my chief comes, no one can touch this thing. Chapter 2372. About 40 minutes later, Wan Guangxiao finally rushed over. The people who came with him were all high-ranking officials. They were all senior police officers and leaders of the National Security Bureau. Everyone in the police station was shocked. They all realized that Su Yun was definitely not a simple person. No wonder he was so stubborn. Wan Guangxiao seemed to know that it would not be easy to get them out this time. After all, this was not a small matter. Even if it was called the bank robbery case by the outside media, it was still a huge case. After all, even the crime of robbing a bank was unforgivable. That was why so many important people came this time. Moreover, these people were very concerned about this matter. After all, a person with Sky's eye had escaped. This was a hidden danger to the entire Yanjing, to the entire Huaxia. Wan Guangxiao did not waste any time and brought Su Yun and the others out. As for the 2 people from Hong Kong and Macau, Wan Guangxiao also arranged for people to receive them. He also asked people to take the car away and repair it as soon as possible. Because the two people were in a hurry to report back, they could not wait until the car was completely repaired. They could only do some simple repairs. At least these two people were out of danger. No one expected that this transport would be life-threatening. When they returned, they had to write a good report. Before Lin Gu left, he said to the policeman who looked down on him, "Do I look like someone without status? Do you still dare to ask me to stay? You little brat, enough." Wang Guangxiao punched Lin Ji's shoulder. "They are just doing their job. Don't be so calculative. It's all for the sake of safety." Lin Gu stuck out his tongue. "Chief, if you had mentioned me on the phone, they wouldn't have dared to bully me like that. Look at how arrogant they are. If it wasn't for you talking too much, they wouldn't have made things difficult for you. Su Yun, let's go quickly. There are still many things to deal with." Right now, Chong Mo's matter was of the utmost importance. Even though it was inconvenient for her to move around, she was still someone who was nurtured by Heaven's eye. Finding a place to hide was not difficult. The police didn't seal off the surrounding area in time, and most of their attention was focused on the criminals who caused the great bank robbery. This gave Chong Mo a better chance to deal with his own situation. Therefore, it was not easy to find her now. Although many senior leaders were waiting for Su Yun to explain the specific situation to them, Su Yun didn't have time to report to them. "Sir, I have to return to the Dragon Brigade right now. Firstly, it's for the safety of this thing. Secondly, I need someone to cooperate with me in a comprehensive investigation. Not only must we find Chong Mo, but we must not let the members of that gang go," Su Yun said. "That gang's goal is very clear, and that is to make a move on Arbola." Wang Guangxiao understood what Su Yun meant. Su Yun's decision was very rational. He really shouldn't waste time on reporting to the leaders. That would easily delay the timing. Moreover, Arbola must be handed over to the Dragon Brigade's research team as soon as possible. The Dragon Brigade had high-tech weapons genius Matthew, cutting-edge talents such as the medical expert Yu Marin, as well as various research, scientific, and biological talents. They must conduct research on the Ebola virus weapon and find a safe way to destroy it. If so many talents couldn't come up with a safe way to destroy it, then the only way was to put it in an absolutely safe place and seal it. This kind of destructive thing must never be allowed to harm people again. Wang Guangxiao explained the situation to the senior leaders on behalf of Su Yun. After that, he arranged for someone to send Su Yun and Lin Gu back. The rest of the matters were left to Wang Yi. Meanwhile, he had to deal with the leaders. After all, he had to give them enough face. Some things were very complicated and not as simple as they seemed on the surface. Although he was the chief of the Dragon Brigade, due to the interoperability of some aspects, he still had to establish a good relationship with these leaders. Their responsibilities were different, and only good communication could lead to mutual understanding. Otherwise, it would only lead to discord between them. At a time like this, Wang Guangxiao couldn't leave. Fortunately, with Wang Yi and Su Yun around, Wang Guangxiao could deal with other matters without worry. He believed that Wang Yi would take care of these things properly, and he also believed in Su Yun's ability to execute and lead. Chong Mo's escape was a sore point for Su Yun, but the proper handling of Arbola was the first thing Su Yun had to do. He knew his priorities, so he was not in a hurry to deal with Chong Mo's matter. After Arbola was safely sent back to the Dragon Brigade, Wang Yi, who had been notified in advance, had already gathered Matthew, Yu Marin, and other top talents in various fields. Everyone was told to come to the meeting room and wait for Su Yun's arrival. Wang Yi also gave a brief overview of the Ebola virus weapon, which really shocked Yu Marin. When she heard that Su Yun had gone on such a dangerous mission and brought back such a dangerous thing, her heart was in her throat. Matthew, on the other hand, was even more nervous. His research on weapons was all in the technological aspect, and he had always despised this kind of viral weapon. He really did not expect to encounter such a thing. Amidst the tension and anticipation, he was even more nervous. Finally, Su Yun rushed back to the Dragon Brigade while everyone waited anxiously. When he saw that everyone was already waiting, Su-yun looked a little embarrassed. Sorry for the long wait, everyone. You're finally here. My heart was beating faster from waiting. Matthew took a deep breath. Is the thing safe? Yu Meiren also stood up nervously. Although she did not say anything, she looked very carefully at Su-yun from head to toe, fearing that Su-yun was injured somewhere. Fortunately, she did not see any injuries on Su-yun. However, when she thought about it carefully, it was not a big deal if Su-yun had suffered external injuries. The kind of internal injuries that could not be seen were the scariest. However, judging from Su-yun's performance, he did not seem to have suffered any internal injuries. The Ebola virus weapon is very safe. It's in a liquid state. I'll leave the rest to you guys. You must be very careful. This thing is very powerful. Su-yun, the people from Heavens, I have already used it to cause 2 major incidents in Hong Kong and Macau, infecting more than 200 people. They can't leave a single one alive. It's so dangerous. How could you do this kind of mission alone? Yu Meiren could not help but worry. Lin Gu did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said, Sis, I've already followed you in, and you didn't see me? Brother Yun has me by his side. You don't have to worry so much. Yu Meiren really only noticed Lin Gu now. She had been focusing all her attention on Su-yun. When Lin Gu said that, she blushed. But I really didn't help much. Lin Gu said helplessly, I even made a mistake at the end. Otherwise, they wouldn't have escaped. Wang Yi smiled slightly. Well, it's not a big deal. Since you're back safely, it's fine as long as you're fine. I'll leave the matter of Ebola to you guys. You must think of a foolproof plan to safely destroy it. You must be 100% sure of it. Yes, sir. Everyone gave Wang Yi a resounding answer. Su-yun, I'll bring some people to arrest Chongma now. You should rest for a while. Wang Yi said, I've already passed the order to those guys from Dragon's Fury. When I found out that the chief went to the police station to pick you up, I arranged for them to start investigating this incident. Su-yun was stunned. He smiled and said, They're not as familiar with Chongma as I am. I'll go personally. You should just rest for a while. What's wrong with resting? They're all your brothers. Don't you trust them? Yu Meiren said a little angrily, I think you never know how to take care of yourself. You look like you haven't slept for a long time. Wang Yi said, Yu Meiren is right. You should go and rest. This is an order. Leave the Ebola virus weapon to Matthew and the others for external analysis. Once the virus stock has been safely extracted, I'll let you medical people get involved. Yu Meiren, take care of Su-yun for now. Yes, sir. Yu Meiren nodded. Chapter 2373. Firstly, I'm not injured. Secondly, there's no accident. I just need to eat and drink some water and I'll be able to move. Su-yun, the people from Skies Eye are really hard to deal with. If I don't go, I'm worried that they won't be able to handle anything. Lin Gu stopped speaking up for Su-yun when he heard this. Bro, can you do it? If you say that the other 4 guys from Skies Eye are hard to deal with, I agree. But if you say that Chongma is hard to deal with, I really don't agree. Even I can tell that her reaction is slow. If it wasn't for her slow reaction, she wouldn't have been able to escape from the plane. Just let it go. Lin Gu has already said so. What's there to worry about? Yu Meiren said, if the 2 of you can deal with this problem, Han Zhan and Qian Feng have so many people with them. How can they not deal with it? Just listen to me, okay? What do you want to eat? I'll make some food for you. The cafeteria isn't open right now. There's no food. Sis, I want to eat sweet and sour pork ribs, steamed crab, braised oxtail, vegetable dumplings. Lin Gu was really hungry now. They probably hadn't eaten anything in the past 20 hours after the incident. They even drank water in small sips, afraid that they would waste time if they drank too much and went to the toilet. So when he heard about food, Lin Ji's saliva almost flowed out. Now, as long as he could eat enough and sleep, he would be back to full health. Yu Meiren was dizzy from hearing this. Do you really think I'm a restaurant owner? How can I make so many things? At most, I can make scallion noodles and a few home-cooked dishes. That's enough. Su Yun smiled. Don't listen to his nonsense. If he's really hungry, even if you give him a bowl of scallion noodles, he can imagine what kind of delicious food it is. It can't be that bad, right? Our brigade can't be so stingy as to only have noodles to eat, right? Lin Gu pouted. Then it's really fortunate that they sent me away in the early years. Wang Yi laughed. He knew that Lin Gu was trying to resolve the awkwardness between him and the Dragon Brigade. You're underestimating the brigade. Just tell me what you want to eat. If Yu Meiren doesn't know how to make it, I'll call the kitchen to make it for you. Let's see if it'll taste good enough to kill a glutton like you. That's great. I'm going to order the dishes now. Lin Gu coughed twice and cleared his throat. What I want to eat is steamed lamb, steamed bear paw, steamed deer tail, roasted flour duck, roasted chicken, roasted goose, roasted pig, roasted duck, soy sauce chicken, bacon, songhua, tripe, dried meat, sausages, assorted. Good. Matthew took the lead in applauding. This meeting even arranged a crosstalk performance. That's really good. What a good rhyme. The service in our brigade is really good. Lin Gu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So I'm actually performing for you? I wasn't just saying a rhyme. I was really announcing the recipes. Even a ghost could tell that you were announcing the recipes. Su Yun said, if they really made it for you, would you be able to finish it? You'd be stuffed to death. Let's hurry up and leave. We still have things to do. Let's not disturb other people's meetings and research. After Su Yun and the others left, a portion of the people also left under Wang Yi's lead. Only Matthew and a few weapons experts were left. They had to hold a meeting to conduct research and analysis. It really wasn't suitable for people to stay and disturb them. Yu Meiren also took Su Yun and Lin Gu to eat under Wang Yi's instructions. Lin Gu didn't seem to be as hungry as imagined. He quickly ate something and said that he was full. He made an excuse that he needed to find Wang Yi and ran away. But what could he have to do with Wang Yi? It was just an excuse to give Su Yun and Yu Meiren some space to be alone. Yu Meiren also understood Lin Ji's intention. She just smiled embarrassedly. Is this mission very dangerous? Yu Meiren said, I heard that you have to go undercover in a club in Hong Kong and Macau. Won't there be a lot of pressure? It's okay. There are already spies there. After I went in, there were always people helping me. Su Yun said, it's just a little hard, but there won't be any danger. They're all people from the club. There's nothing that can threaten me. Yu Meiren didn't believe that it was as simple and easy as Su Yun said. But the people from Sky I must be very dangerous. It's a little troublesome, but I still took care of it. Su Yun grinned. It's okay. I can handle it. Just be careful. I was really scared when I heard that something happened in Beijing today. Who are those people? How could they be so daring? Yu Meiren was still in disbelief. There weren't many people who dared to cause such a big commotion in Huaxia. Su Yun shook his head. Only by capturing them can we get to the bottom of this. It's just that today's incident happened too suddenly. I had too many things to worry about, so I didn't manage to capture anyone to ask. It was all for the safety of the Ebola virus weapon. Su Yun really didn't have time to care about it. Moreover, there was the safety of the 2 Hong Kong and Macau police officers. In addition, he found out that Chong Mo had escaped at the crucial moment. This had a huge impact on Su Yun. Therefore, Su Yun really didn't think too much about it. Lin Gu didn't catch them because they were too cunning. They chose to make a move in the bank hall with so many people. Using the chaos created by so many ordinary people, Su Yun couldn't care too much about it. It seems that this matter won't stop for a while. Yu Meiren shook her head helplessly. I don't know who these people are. They're actually so interested in the Ebola virus weapon. Su Yun was already thinking about this matter. According to his analysis, these people's moves were more sinister. They looked like Japanese ninjas, but they weren't pure ninjutsu. However, the way that Bai Shang escaped was related to ninjutsu. The people who were best at using smoke to escape in the world were probably Japanese ninjas. If they're Japanese, why are they doing this? Umaran was a little surprised. The Japanese tried to use the Ebola virus weapon to destroy Huaxia 70 years ago. If it weren't for so many heroes fighting with their lives, our country might have really been contaminated by the Japanese. Su Yun, it's not impossible that they're interested in the Ebola virus weapon now, Umaran said, but this weapon wasn't developed by them. They don't dare to research these things, Su Yun. With their godfather in the United States watching, how would they dare to develop these things? Although the United States has always stood behind the Japanese and supported them from time to time, if they really do this kind of thing, the United States won't just stand by and watch. Speaking of which, those scoundrels in the Japanese were not easy to deal with. Back then, they also took a big bite out of the United States at Pearl Harbor. Of course, the United States wouldn't forget that pain. After watching Tiger, the people who watched that movie should be very clear about what happened at that time. More than 350 Japanese planes launched 2 waves of attacks on the Pearl Harbor naval base, dropping armor-piercing bombs and launching torpedoes at the American battleships and cruisers. The American troops were caught off guard. They woke up from the loud explosion and hurriedly defended themselves. The entire preemptive attack ended in an hour and a half. At that time, the Japanese sank 4 battleships and 2 destroyers, destroyed 188 American planes, and damaged even more buildings, ships, and planes. About 2,400 American soldiers died in the attack, and more than 1,200 were injured. This was a huge shock to the United States. The United States was a country that valued human rights, so it was absolutely unacceptable for them to lose so many people at once. The United States even made this day a day of national humiliation. It was obvious that they were wary of this godson of the Japanese. That was because the United States definitely knew that some of the Japanese were born of mad dogs and bastards. Once they got jealous, they wouldn't recognize anyone. They would dare to bite anyone. Although some people had always thought that this was a conspiracy, that the United States deliberately allowed the Japanese's sneak attack to succeed. That was because the Japanese's sneak attack seemed to be very successful, but some inexplicable coincidences caused the Japanese to not achieve their strategic goals. However, the painful casualties were real, so the United States would not let the Japanese have any dangerous weapons. Chapter 2374. So you suspect that the Japanese don't have the right to make such a weapon, so they'll take this opportunity to snatch it? Umaran said, once they snatch it, they can take it for themselves and use the threat of the Ebola virus weapon to achieve some of their goals? That's my guess. Su Yun, because Abe number 3 is also a mad dog, and his brain is especially small. He doesn't think about the consequences when he does things. I have to suspect that this guy is crazy. Umaran took a deep breath. Does he still have the time to do these things now? There are hundreds of thousands of Japanese in front of the Japanese Parliament building every day, asking him to step down. Isn't that enough for him? This cuckold doesn't even care about the fire in his own backyard. What else can he care about? Su Yun, his wife has been slept with, and he often doesn't return home at night. He's drinking and chatting with Japanese artists outside. I don't know how many people he has accompanied. This guy's probably in a bad mood recently. Umaran looked at Su Yun with some surprise. She thought that it couldn't be. She heard that Jean Pang Pang's wife had been slept with by her uncle, so she acted as a matchmaker for Jean Pang Pang. She acted out a modern version of the story of Lu Buwei and Zhao Ji, so that Jean Pang Pang's wife didn't even know who the child in her stomach was. She didn't expect Abe number 3's wife to be even more promiscuous. She actually went out every night. No one knew how many cuckolds Abe number 3 had on his head, right? Umaran could only think of a few words at this time. The circle of the rich was really messy. No matter what, if this has something to do with the Japanese, I'll make sure they don't return. Su Yun clenched his fists. He couldn't let this group of bastards continue to run amok in Huaxia. If they have the time, they should go back and investigate how many people have cheated on their prime minister. Umaran couldn't help but laugh out loud. You're making Abe look like a green-haired turtle. He's really a green-haired turtle. Think about it. After he came to power, he faced opposition from the masses every day. He was criticized from all sides. He even had to pretend to be a coward in front of the United States. In some international meetings and meetings with our leaders treated him like a fart and ignored him. He must be under a lot of pressure every day. Su Yun said, that way, he won't have time to care about his family. It's normal for his wife to cheat on him. Umaran took a deep breath and said, you really know a lot. That's a must. Su Yun, that's because the whole world knows about it. Sometimes I wonder if Abe III deliberately leaked his wife's photo to make himself known. After all, his presence is too low now. The people who scolded him are tired of scolding him. Umaran grinned. He can't be that stupid, right? Wouldn't he be looking for trouble for himself? Who knows? That guy's brain is full of bubbles. What can't he do? Su Yun, no matter whether it's the Japanese or not, I can't let them off easily. If they dare to commit a crime in Yenjing, they have to know the consequences. What about the person who escaped from Heavenly Eye? Umaran said, I heard it's a girl. Su Yun nodded. She is indeed a girl. I really don't understand what Heaven's Eye's goal is. They seem to be pawns used by others, and their minds have been brainwashed. Everything they do seems to be for the sake of a perfect world. A perfect world. Umaran was stunned. I heard that some people advocate utopias. They advocate a world that can only exist in one's imagination. Do Heavenly Eyes people also believe in these things? Not believing is believing, or it's an extreme. Su Yun, you can't believe what Heavenly Eyes people yearn for. What kind of person is that girl? Umaran asked. Su Yun thought for a moment. She's a person full of hatred for evil. All evil is unforgivable in her eyes. Perhaps this is what runs through the minds of everyone in Heavenly Eye. But it's especially serious for her. Because it seems to be her first mission, she's full of that special anger for evil. Umaran was a little surprised. In that case, Heavenly Eye doesn't seem to be an organization that stops at nothing. You think so too? Su Yun. Umaran nodded. They hate evil and yearn for beauty. Isn't this normal? But they're very extreme. They've exceeded that boundary. Su Yun, they use death as the punishment for any evil. Yeah. They actually caused 2 virus infections in Hong Kong and Macau. Although those people deserve to die, they died too. Umaran couldn't continue. Then what do you mean by saying that they're pawns being used? Su Yun took a sip of water. There's someone behind them. All the orders are issued by that person, and all the orders have to be obeyed by that person. And so far, I still don't know anything about that person behind the scenes. Beauty you sucked in a breath of cold air. So they are also pitiful people who were used? Being used to do things with their angry hearts for evil? That's right. Su Yun nodded. The people of Heavenly Eye were rescued from the children selected by various inhumane organizations. They are grateful to the people who saved them because they have experienced many years of inhumane training. Before they carried out the missions of those organizations, they were rescued by the current behind-the-scenes person. Is this considered saving them? After they leave the organization, aren't the things they can do still crimes? Umaran said, it's just an excuse for themselves. Su Yun sighed. Yeah, it's really just an excuse. So, they're all people being used. When they're no longer useful, they'll be abandoned. This is also the purpose of bringing her back to Huaxia. Umaran was startled. She didn't understand Su Yun's meaning. Heavenly Eye has done some things all over the world for so many years. The only forbidden area they haven't touched is Huaxia, so I believe that the behind-the-scenes person won't take the risk to come to Huaxia to save people. Su Yun said, this way, she will be able to see some problems. I want to convince her and let her see herself clearly. After all, she's also a victim, not a real villain. Yeah. Umaran nodded. If we can let Heavenly Eyes people see the truth, I believe they'll repent. Su Yun stretched. But I'm afraid it'll be very difficult. If we don't have a certain degree of persuasion, it's absolutely impossible to make them repent. We can only let them constantly recognize themselves to let them see everything clearly. Umaran looked at Su Yun with some heartache. Many things can't be solved in a short time. Don't think too much. Don't impose all the responsibility on yourself. Some things can't be forced. You can only let nature take its course. Su Yun nodded. Okay, I know. Take care of yourself. Don't be so competitive in everything. In the end, you'll be the one who collapses. You too. Pay attention to your rest. Su Yun, I'll bring back the Ebola virus weapon. When the time comes, you'll definitely be very busy. It'll definitely be very hard. You must pay attention to your rest. Don't be in a hurry. Like you said, some things can't be forced. Just let nature take its course. Umaran blushed slightly. I know. I'll take care of myself. Don't be distracted by my matters. What you have to do is more important. It's so dangerous. I really don't want you to get involved. Su Yun just smiled and didn't say anything. If no one did dangerous things, it would only put more people in danger. This time, the matter had disturbed Yanjing's territory. How could Su Yun let those people go so easily? Chapter 2375. Hua Leitang, Han Zhan, and Qian Feng led the Dragon Fury team to split into 3 teams to conduct a comprehensive investigation and tracking. Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang formed a 2-man team to study the escape route of Chongma. The entire Dragon Fury team attached great importance to this matter. After all, this group of bastards escaped from their boss's hands. If they were not caught by Dragon's Fury personally, it would be too embarrassing for Su Yun. This was Yanjing. The Dragon Fury team would never let Su Yun lose face here. In any case, this was related to the dignity of their Dragon Fury team. More importantly, they would never allow anyone to laugh at Su Yun. This was because when this matter came out, there were already people from other special teams who were gossiping. They said that Su Yun had not experienced a life-and-death battlefield with them for too long, so he had lost control in the face of unexpected events. Obviously, the brothers of Dragon's Fury could not accept this statement. This was because they knew very well that although Su Yun had not acted with them for a long time, Su Yun had been doing things that were more difficult than their missions. Just take the Ebola virus weapon for example. How many people dared to stand up and take responsibility for it? Only Su Yun could do that. If it was anyone else, they probably wouldn't have such strong confidence. There were too many aspects involved in the Ebola virus weapon. Just one skies I had created so many tricks. Moreover, there were traitors in the Hong Kong and Macau police, and the Ebola virus weapon was transferred to Taiwan Island midway. With this series of situations, how many people could take responsibility for it? This was definitely not something that ordinary people could handle. Su Yun was already very amazing to be able to do this. If it was someone else, they would probably cry. Su Yun dealt with all the accidents and situations one by one. He could handle and solve them every time. Now that they were in Yanjing and such a thing had happened, it was already amazing that Su Yun could keep the Ebola virus weapon. With so many people on the other side, it was really not so easy to catch them. Therefore, the brothers of the Dragon Fury team had to maintain their reputation and fight for Su Yun. They absolutely could not let the other special teams gossip. If the Dragon Fury team could not catch these people, the higher-ups would arrange for other special teams to support them. That would really make the brothers of Dragon's Fury lose face. This was absolutely not allowed to happen. The brothers of the Dragon Fury team were fighting for this. No matter what, they had to maintain their reputation and let them see that the Dragon Fury team could solve this matter perfectly. Because the other party retreated very quickly and was very organized and disciplined, the police did not collect any clues. It could even be said that the other party almost did not leave any clues. The investigation was stopped many times because of the lack of clues. After Hua Leitang took over this matter, he immediately returned to the crime scene to conduct a new round of investigation. He did not believe that the other party could do it so cleanly. It was impossible that they did not leave any clues. There was no wall in the world that did not leak. They would definitely find some clues. Han Zhan and Qian Feng, on the other hand, led two teams of people to investigate in both directions. This group of people was so bold, and their goal had not been achieved, so they believed that the other party would not run too far away. They would definitely wait for an opportunity to make a move, and they would have new ideas. As for Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sunlang, they were more depressed. They wanted to investigate one person. This was a smaller target, and they could not find any important clues. A person whose hands and feet were shackled should not have escaped too far. It was definitely inconvenient for him to move. However, after Hua Xiaolu asked around, he could not find any witnesses. No one has seen a girl with shackles on her hands and feet. Hua Xiaolu was a little unhappy. Could it be that she disappeared from the face of the earth? Gong Sun Lung did not believe it. Unless she became invisible, no one would say that no one saw her. Is there a problem? Or has she already broken free from the handcuffs and shackles? Hua Xiaolu shook his head. That's absolutely impossible. Those are not ordinary handcuffs and leg cuffs. They can't be broken so easily. Then what can she do? Gong Sun Lang could not think of how the other party could escape. Otherwise, she could have escaped underground. How could no one see any traces in broad daylight? Hua Xiaolu was stunned. Escaped underground? What? Do you really believe that she escaped underground? Do you think it's too Xingsuan? Gong Sun Lang rolled his eyes helplessly. Save it. That's impossible. She must have used some kind of camouflage trick, that's why no one saw her. If she had that ability, how great a magician would she be? Hua Xiaolu said. Compared to that, I'd rather believe that she escaped underground. As he said that, Hua Xiaolu pointed at the manhole cover not far away. Gong Sun Lang was startled. His mind went blank for a moment. They quickly returned to the entrance of the bank. Below the spot where Su Yun and the others had parked their car, a huge manhole cover was loosened. It was obvious that someone had opened it. That's right. That must be it. Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang's faces instantly showed bright smiles. It seemed that the girl with the heavens I was smart enough to learn the ability to escape underground. Her reaction was really fast. That must be it. Although the situation was chaotic, there were so many people. They couldn't just watch a girl who couldn't move with her hands and feet escape. Therefore, when Chong Emo got out of the car, she immediately hid under the car. First, she wanted to avoid and reduce accidental injuries to herself. Second, she wanted to use the chaos to escape. Just when she was at her wit's end, she found the manhole cover under her. Even a thief with only a primary school diploma knew how to steal a manhole cover, let alone Chong Mo. She simply looked at it and knew how to open it. With her ability, it was a piece of cake. Then, she took the opportunity when Su Yun was caught in the chaos to open the manhole cover and escape underground. Because she had done it very cleanly, and when the police arrived at the scene, everyone was talking at once. Therefore, Su Yun never thought that there would be a manhole cover under the car that could allow people to escape. Under such circumstances, Chong Mo easily escaped the scene. Even if she couldn't move with her hands and feet, no one would see her in the manhole. She could also escape unhurriedly. Although it was pitch black and she couldn't see anything, she got used to it after a while. Then what are we waiting for? Hua Xiaolu said and opened the manhole cover. He and Gong Sun Lang went underground to catch the girl. Hua Leitang, who was investigating the scene not far away, was puzzled. What are you two doing? Stealing manhole covers in this day and age. Captain Hua, take your time to investigate. We've already found a clue. Haha, wait for our good news. Gong Sun Lang said and went into the manhole. Hua Xiaolu didn't want to be left behind. He said to Hua Leiting, "Let's see who can catch the girl first. We'll definitely catch her before you. You two brats. You're better than monkeys when it comes to sticking to fur. You can even think of this." Hua Leiting couldn't help but admire them. These two brats were really capable. Even the two brats who were usually the least serious had found a clue, but Hua Leiting was still at a loss. He took a deep breath. No, he couldn't lose to these two brats. Even if he had to use his nose to remember the smell of the footprints on the ground, he had to smell them one by one to catch those bastards who escaped. Fortunately, Chen Feng, who was searching in the front, came back with news. He said that he found traces of a suspicious vehicle. The tire marks were very similar to the ones found at the bank. After analyzing the data according to the road conditions, the car was at least 50% faster than the speed limit. This place was very strict. All the drivers in Beijing knew that no one would be stupid enough to drive so fast. Therefore, Chen Feng thought that there must be something wrong here. He asked Hua Leiting to contact the traffic police and immediately get the surveillance video of this place. After calculating the time, they might be able to find some clues. Hua Leiting was energized when he heard that. He immediately arranged for someone to communicate with the traffic police. As long as he could confirm the direction that these bastards escaped in, he would catch them even if he had to chase them to the ends of the earth. He would bring them to Su Yun to kneel down and kowtow. Chapter 2376. When Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang arrived at the sewer, the darkness immediately snatched away the last bit of light from their eyes. The darkness seemed to have also snatched away their sense of security. Therefore, when the two of them arrived at the sewer, everything became quiet. The two of them lost their relaxed smiles from before. They climbed the ladder all the way to the bottom of the sewer. The damp air and unpleasant smell instantly filled their senses. The echoes below were especially loud. Even the slightest footsteps could cause waves of echoes from afar. So the sewer was very spacious. Hua Xiaolu, are you sure she used the burrowing technique you mentioned? Why do I suddenly have some doubts? Gong Sun Lang said, how likely is it that she came to a place like this? 100%. Hua Xiaolu said with certainty, because she must have no other choice. Look at this place. It's very suitable for one person to escape. Plus, it's inconvenient for her to move her hands and feet. Gong Sun Lang's vision finally began to recover a little. Then if she really is down here, maybe she can already hear us talking like this. It's so spacious. Listen, the echoes are too exaggerated. If there's someone in front, we can definitely hear them. The person in front, listen up. Don't make any pointless struggles. You are already surrounded by us. Hua Xiaolu shouted into the darkness. Our people are at the exits above the sewer. You'd better not think that you have a chance to escape. If you obediently surrender, you can still win a way out. Gong Sun Lang was speechless. He glared at Hua Xiaolu and thought, do you really think that people with sky eyes are 3 years old? Can these words scare her? It's impossible. However, Hua Xiaolu still looked very confident. Even if this didn't scare her, it would at least give her a big scare. This way, she would leave behind some clues in a hurry. This would give them a chance to track her down. Just like this, the two of them walked forward. In the dark sewer, only their own footsteps could be heard. Hua Xiaolu would occasionally shout, I found you. Don't move. Every time he shouted something like this, Gong Sun Lang would be extremely agitated. However, every time, it was Hua Xiaolu playing tricks, trying to trick Chongmar out. This made Gong Sun Lang speechless. You're playing such a trick. Even if we really find them, they won't say a word. Gong Sun Lang said, that will only make her more careful and cautious. Don't call for help blindly. Hua Xiaolu sighed helplessly. It's not like I'm bored. Where does this pitch-black sewer end? So you're just messing with me then? He's not looking for anyone at all. Gong Sun Lang was truly convinced. At this moment, Hua Xiaolu suddenly stopped in his tracks. His entire person seemed to be energized. In the darkness, one could see the light in his sly eyes. "What's wrong with you? Again?" Hua Xiaolu excitedly pointed not far away and said, "Do you see that? Look at what this is. Isn't that? The handcuffs, anklets. They've been opened?" Gong Sun Lang was stunned. That was impossible. He quickened his pace and walked forward, picking up the remains on the ground. The handcuffs and anklets used to deal with Chongma must be made of special materials. It was not something that could be broken by ordinary things. It was also not something that a person could break. But now, it had been opened directly. How could Gong Sun Lang not be surprised? They were all familiar with this special material. They could tell at a glance that it was not an ordinary thing. Yes, it must be. Gong Sun Lang was a little excited. "Nonsense, of course it is," Hua Xiaolu said. "That girl is really good. She can even open this thing? What kind of tools could there be in this sewer?" Gong Sun Lang carefully checked the place and found something unusual. Iron wire. These might be some small things that the sewer maintenance staff left behind. She used them all. Her eyes are really good. Hua Xiaolu looked up. There was a ladder here, so they could go up directly. He pointed at the top and asked Gong Sun Lang, "If it were you, would you choose to leave this place immediately?" "Of course I would leave immediately." Gong Sun Lang said, "I'm going crazy because of the smell here. It's too smelly. It's really not something that ordinary people would be willing to endure." Hua Xiaolu nodded. He was the same. If there was a chance, he would not want to stay here anymore. He would choose to leave immediately. If the exit of the manhole cover was not a busy main street and would not attract attention, he would definitely choose to go out from here. After distinguishing and judging the sound, the two were sure that it was definitely not a main street because there were not many cars passing by. There were only the occasional sound of footsteps. There did not seem to be many people passing by. This made the two even more certain that the people of Sky's Eye were very likely to escape from here. This place was also the best choice. It was not easy to get rid of the shackles on their hands and feet. It was not easy to leave this stinky sewer. Anyone would want to escape immediately, right? Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up. Gong Sun Lang said, "Maybe she hasn't gone far after leaving here. If we move faster, there might be a big chance." The two of them quickly climbed up the ladder and opened the manhole cover in one breath. The reason why this place was so quiet seemed to be because it was a secluded alley behind the back door of a restaurant. Only the staff who went to work and the people who supplied the restaurant would pass by here. No one else would pass by this place. Chong Mo's luck was really good. She could meet such a good environment along the way, and it was all suitable for her. The moldy smell on his body could not be removed in a short time. Hua Xiaolu fanned the air under his nose in disgust. He pointed to a private camera on the back door of the restaurant and said to Gong Sun Lang, "Let's go inside and ask. Maybe we can get some clues. With this moldy smell, people will think we are beggars if we go to the restaurant." Gong Sun Lang shook his head helplessly. After the two came to the restaurant, the people in the restaurant looked at them with strange eyes. Obviously, they were very concerned about the smell on their bodies. "You two, are you eating?" Hua Xiaolu took out his ID. "Sorry to disturb you. We are not eating. We are just here to investigate something. I hope you can cooperate with our work." "So the two of you are. Please tell me if you need anything. Is the camera on the street behind your restaurant always on? Do you have a recording for us to use?" Gong Sun Lang said, "Your camera may be a very important clue." "No problem. The computer is here. You can look around. Do you two need anything to eat? We can prepare something for you too." The restaurant owner was very enthusiastic. Hua Xiaolu hurriedly said, "You're too polite. We've already disturbed you. We're very sorry. Don't be polite. It is our honor to cooperate with your work." The restaurant owner's awareness was quite high. Gong Sun Lang started to look at the video. According to the time, he only needed to fast forward to look at the video within 2 hours. When they started to look at the video, they quickly retreated to the scene of the two of them climbing up from the sewer. The restaurant owner was shocked. No wonder they smelled like this. It was because of this. They only fast retreated for about 20 minutes before they saw the sewer cover move again. A girl's figure came out from inside as expected. That's right, their judgment was not wrong. Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang were very excited. There is a girl among your colleagues. It is not easy for a girl to do such a hard job, the restaurant owner said, and she is dumber than you. She did not eat when she came out. After coming up, she was so hungry that she ate here. It is just upstairs. I thought you didn't eat, hee hee. Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang did not say anything. They put down the computer and rushed to the second floor of the restaurant, shouting, "Room number 2. Room 201. The restaurant owner was dumbfounded. What is going on? Isn't this reaction too excited? Chapter 2377. However, what disappointed Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang was that when they broke into private room 201, the room was already empty. There were 4 plates of special stir-fry dishes on the table, the tea in the teacups was still steaming, and there was still a third of the white rice left in the bowl. The open window blew the curtains in the room messily. Obviously, the person had just left. The restaurant owner who followed the two of them up the stairs was also dumbfounded. How could such a beautiful girl, who was dressed so well, do something like dine and dash? 4 special dishes cost more than 300 yuan. This was too outrageous. Chase. Hua Xiaolu was about to jump down after saying that. This was the second floor. For them, jumping down was not a threat at all. It was a piece of cake. However, the restaurant owner immediately hugged Hua Xiaolu's waist. "Little brother, you can't leave. You haven't paid for the meal." "Boss, this meal is not for us. Why should we pay for it?" Hua Xiaolu was speechless. Gong Sun Lang was also at a loss. "Yeah, we didn't eat. That girl must be related to you, right? You all came out of the sewers. How can you not know her?" The restaurant owner said, "If you are friends, colleagues, then you should pay for her, right?" Gong Sun Lang shook his head helplessly. "Boss, what's wrong with your eyes? If she was a colleague, would she run away when she heard that we were coming? We are catching her. Then all the more you have to pay me. If you didn't catch her, she wouldn't have run away. She wouldn't have eaten my free meal." The restaurant owner hugged Hua Xiaolu tightly. He wouldn't let go no matter what. Hua Xiaolu was also helpless. "How much is it? Hurry up and pay. We are in a hurry. You can't afford to delay." 376. "Just give me 370. The restaurant owner said, "I'm also a small business. Both of you can see that if I didn't care about this little bit of money, I wouldn't waste your time. The police and the people are one family. I will definitely support your work. 400. Keep the change." Gong Sun Lang took out 400 yuan and threw it on the table before jumping out of the window. The restaurant owner hurriedly took the money to see if it was real or fake. Hua Xiaolu also got rid of the entanglement and jumped down the stairs behind Gong Sun Lang. Who are these people? The restaurant owner was at a loss. Seeing that the money was real, why didn't he take the stairs? How dangerous was it to jump off the building? If he fell, he would break his leg. The restaurant owner stuck his head out of the window to take a look. He was afraid that he would have to bear the responsibility if something really happened. But at this time, there was no one below the window. Could it be that these two fellows disappeared after jumping down? Oh my God, the restaurant owner rubbed his eyes hard. This is really strange. On the other side, the investigation seemed to have made progress. According to the clues found by Qian Feng, they quickly chased after them. The further they ran, the more traces they left behind. This was because they were confident that no one could investigate that far. Hua Leitang and Han Zhan's teams also surrounded Chen Feng's team and met up with them. When the three teams met, they found a shifty-eyed guy. "Hey, bro, I want to ask you something." Chen Feng shouted at the person not far away. Unexpectedly, the guy ran away. He ran even more happily than a thin dog that saw a rabbit. He was so happy that he was running. Chen Feng saw this and chased after him without saying anything. There was definitely something wrong with this guy. He definitely couldn't let him run away. Han Zhan and Hua Leitang saw this and attacked from two sides. They directly forced the person to have no way to escape. He could only brace himself and charge forward. With this speed, no one would believe that he was an ordinary person. The faster this guy ran, the happier they were. If he didn't run, it meant that he didn't have a guilty conscience. Only someone with a guilty conscience would run so crazily. After sprinting for a few hundred meters, Chen Feng finally grabbed the back of the person's neck. He exerted strength in his legs and pounced forward, directly pressing the person to the ground. With a thud, the person's face was scraped from the impact. However, this person's reaction surprised Chen Feng even more. He didn't make a sound. "Speak. Where did your people go?" Chen Feng shouted angrily. If this guy didn't have a guilty conscience, how could he have such a reaction? Han Zhan and Hua Leitang, who had caught up, also realized the situation. Catching a suspicious person was definitely meaningful to them. That person kept his mouth shut and didn't say a word. Chen Feng saw that his mouth was squirming. He quickly pinched his mouth and forced it open. He slapped the guy's back with his hand. The guy spat out a mouthful of saliva. There was a small green pill in his saliva. "You want to commit suicide by taking poison? Unfortunately, you fell into my hands." Chen Feng glared at him. There was no need to doubt anymore. They were already sure that this person was related to the attack at the bank entrance. Han Zhan looked at the pill that the guy spat out and said to himself, "The people in this organization are really capable. They really can do anything." These people came to Hua Xia to participate in this operation. They didn't plan to come back alive. He really didn't plan to go back alive. Hua Leitang nodded. This person was deliberately left behind by the other party to confuse us. I'm afraid that we have already been fooled by them. The fact that we found this guy means that we are getting further and further away from their real destination. These clues are very likely to be a facade created by them. Chen Feng spat out a mouthful of saliva unhappily and picked up the guy. "Tell me, are you playing with us?" That person seemed to be born mute. His mouth was like an ornament that didn't move at all. "Do you King think that I don't dare to teach you a lesson?" Chen Feng threw the guy to the ground. "If you don't tell me today, I will teach you a lesson. Don't waste your energy," Hua Leitang said to Chen Feng. "These people have received professional training. I'm afraid that they have undergone professional criminal law training. Even if you beat him to death, he won't say a word." Han Zhan also sighed. "Yes, people who don't even hesitate to die. What else can threaten them? Does that mean that we only caught a piece of trash?" Chen Feng was unwilling to give up. "Are we going to give up if we can't get anything out of him? But this is our only clue now. If we can't find any clues, then wouldn't we have wasted our time playing with him? There's no other way." Han Zhan shook his head helplessly. "I'm afraid that this group of people has a strong background." Chen Feng glared at the guy on the ground. "If I knew that he wouldn't say anything, I would have just let him die. Otherwise, I would have been annoyed after seeing him. Bring this person back. Maybe we will get some clues," Hua Leitang said. "At least we won't end up empty-handed. If we let their main force escape, we will end up empty-handed." Chen Feng was very unhappy. If we bring such a bastard back, how can we report to the boss? Who would have the face to see him? Hua Leitang said, "Of course, we have to continue chasing. We can't let go of any opportunity. Let's send this person back first. Maybe the boss can find some clues. If you want to send him back, then send him back." "I'm not going," If we can't catch those bastards, I definitely won't go back and embarrass myself. Chen Feng shook his head. Hua Leitang was the current captain of Dragon's Fury. Of course, he couldn't let him go back. He still had to command the overall situation. Seeing Chen Feng like this, Han Zhan could only take the initiative to speak. Then I'll bring this person back and see if the boss can figure out who the other party is. You guys continue to investigate. If our analysis is correct and this person led us in the wrong direction, then we can pursue the other two directions. Then you must be careful on the way back. Don't let this guy take advantage of you, Hua Leitang said. He's in my hands. Don't worry. Han Zhan finished speaking and quickly brought the captive back to the Dragon Brigade. Although he didn't know if Su Yun knew more clearly, he felt that it was necessary to bring the captive back to get more information. Chapter 2378. The man was brought back to the Dragon Brigade by Han Zhan in the shortest time possible. When he heard that the man was back, Su Yun could not wait to rush over. Yu Meiren also followed curiously. After all, her current mission was to take care of Su Yun. Before she received the notice to study the composition of the Ebola serum, she could stay by Su Yun's side. Lin Ge stopped bragging to Wang Yi and hurriedly went to the interrogation room with Wang Yi. The few of them arrived at almost the same time. After Han Zhan threw the man into the interrogation room, he waited in the room next door where he could see the situation in the interrogation room. After they all arrived, he reported the situation to Wang Yi and Su Yun. After this guy was caught, the first thing he wanted to do was commit suicide by taking poison. Chen Feng stopped him in time. We couldn't get anything out of him at the scene. It was as if his tongue had been pulled out by someone. Using poison to solve the problem under such circumstances means that he's prepared to die. Wang Yi took a deep breath. I'm afraid it's the most difficult thing to get information out of someone like this. As long as his tongue is still there, I don't believe that he won't talk. Lin Ge said, "Leave it to me. I'll teach him a lesson. I don't believe that his mouth is harder than my fists." Su Yun shook his head. Fists are meaningless to them. They can only beat people to death. But you don't have any torture tools here. Lin Ge said, "Give him one of the top 10 tortures and teach him a lesson. I don't believe anyone can survive it." Can you be a little more humane? Wang Yi said helplessly. We're not as perverted as the Japanese. We won't use those messy methods to deal with people. Master, I have a feeling that this group of people was sent by the Japanese. Su Yun said faintly, in order to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the victory of the war against Japan, our Hua Xia has displayed our powerful military strength. Japan's Abe III didn't come to Hua Xia this time because he was afraid of being shocked, right? Lin Ge was startled. Brother, didn't you say that Abe-san was busy investigating how many people had cheated on him, so he didn't have time to come? Could it be that it wasn't because of being cuckolded? Is it because you are scared? After wearing so many green hats, I'm afraid Abe no longer cares. Su Yun said, he's being scolded by the people of his own country every day. He doesn't have the time to care about being cuckolded. Maybe he arranged for his wife to go out and get votes for him. Then this bro really sacrificed a lot, Lin Ge said. In order to continue being a notorious prime minister, he even sacrificed his wife. Stop talking nonsense here. Wang Yi smiled. Su Yun, go in and take a look. Maybe you can see something. After hearing what you said just now, I really think that this matter might be as you guessed. Yu Meiren also said, I also think that this person looks like a Japanese. Why? Hearing Yu Meiren say this, the few of them looked at her curiously. They thought that she had some medical knowledge that could distinguish between Japanese and other Asians. Yu Meiren shook her head. It's just a feeling. I just feel that Japanese men look a little wretched, but there is also an indescribable sinister feeling. And this sinister feeling has a faint sense of perversion. If Su Yun didn't say it, I might not be sure. But after Su Yun said it, the more I look at it, the more it seems like it. Lin Ge clenched his fist. If it's really a little bastard from Japan, then I really want to go to their Yasukuni club, set them on fire, and shit on their emperor's dining table. Why are you so childish? Yu Meiren shook her head helplessly. Wang Yi said to Su Yun, go in and take a look yourself. You have fought with them before. Su Yun nodded. He left the room where he could see the situation in the interrogation room and went directly into the interrogation room next door. Although the guy who was brought back by Han Zhan heard the sound, he didn't even raise his head and kept silent. Are you going to keep silent? Su Yun walked in front of this person and patted his shoulder with his palm. Although I don't like to fight, when I see a Japanese who wants to provoke Hua Xia, I can't help but want to fight. Although Su Yun didn't notice this person's strangeness at this time, the people next door saw it. This guy's body trembled slightly. Although it was very subtle, it didn't escape the eyes of the people next door. On the contrary, Su Yun was too close to feel it. This guy has a guilty conscience. There must be a problem. Lin Gu said, he's really a Japanese kid. Good, he's really bold. Sure, learn it well. Wang Yi said to Lin Gu, you may be able to use it in the future. Su Yun's use of psychological warfare is still very good. Su Yun saw that the other party still didn't speak. He made a few punches in the air. The wind from the punches hit the other party's face. The other party could clearly judge the strength of the punches. Say, if you weren't a Japanese, I might not have used violence. What a pity. The other party seemed to have something to say, but this expression disappeared in an instant. Su Yun didn't give him too much time to think. He suddenly punched this guy's abdomen. This punch came without any warning. It could be said that the other party was not prepared at all. With just one punch, this guy felt terrible. The nausea almost suffocated him, but he didn't vomit anything. Su Yun's punch almost made his stomach go into a daze. He wanted to vomit, but his stomach didn't know how to make its master roll. I'm sorry. Su Yun, if you don't speak, I can only suspect that you're a Japanese. Otherwise, say something. The guy took a while to recover. Although this punch wasn't fatal and wouldn't cause much damage to him, the nausea and suffocation was really unbearable. I didn't ask you to say anything. Do you have to be so tight-lipped? Su Yun said. This person finally tried to speak. It was just a few simple words. I am not a Japanese. Su Yun didn't say anything and punched this guy's stomach again. This time, the punch was even heavier. This guy simply wanted to vomit his stomach out to feel better. The stacking force hidden in the punch was really unbearable. You're still saying that you're not a Japanese? Listen to your accent. Su Yun. Recently, our Hua Xia TV has a popular season of anti-Japanese war dramas. Every channel has anti-Japanese war dramas every day. Even if the former sister-in-law with a grenade in her pants was killed in the drama, there are still countless anti-Japanese war dramas. The Japanese in those dramas all speak like you. That person didn't understand what Su Yun meant. You Japanese have a common characteristic when you speak Hua Xia. Do you know? Su Yun, how should I put it? I don't know how to describe it. That's because your Japanese language is the simplest and most retarded language in the world. There are only 5 vowels, so sometimes, you Japanese don't even need to open your mouth to speak. Su Yun had done some research on this as well. That was why the Japanese had the same feeling when they spoke Chinese. It was so stiff. This was because the Japanese had a bad tongue since they were young. Other than when the Japanese women said, "Yammeat," the Japanese's words were very unpleasant to the ears at other times. They couldn't even speak such simple Japanese well. Naturally, it was even more difficult to speak Mandarin. Hence, it was especially easy to distinguish. Therefore, from the pronunciation of an Asian-speaking Mandarin, it was possible to tell if he was a Japanese. Although this guy only said a few simple words just now, Su Yun could confirm that this guy was a Japanese on the spot. Don't pretend with me. There's no point in continuing. Su Yun said, since you're from Japan, all the more reason for us to have a good chat. I just came back from Japan. You said that there are many friendly and beautiful girls in Japan who yearn for peace. Why can't you short guys learn from them? Must you be a dog with Abe the Third to prove that you're a proper Japanese man? That person raised his head and glared at Su Yun. He seemed to be very dissatisfied with Su Yun's words. Don't glare at me. You're also a short guy. Su Yun, did I say something wrong? Look at you. You're wearing high-heeled shoes. How much taller can you be than Yao Daming? You're about the same as Yao Daming. Even if you jump, you can only hit Yao Daming's knees. Chapter 2379. After being mocked by Su Yun several times, this person finally couldn't take it anymore. Moreover, since his identity had been seen through by Su Yun, there seemed to be no reason for him to continue keeping his mouth shut. You despicable person, you. What exactly do you want me to do? Su Yun's 2 punches had caused his entire body to turn upside down, yet this fellow was still so unyielding. Su Yun smiled and patted him on the shoulder. I know you Japanese believe in the Bushido spirit. This spirit may be a very powerful spirit to you Japanese, but it's not like that to me. To me, this spirit of yours is very stupid. Do you want to serve your country by cutting your abdomen? Stupid, too stupid. That's our own belief. You don't have to say anything. You don't understand our belief at all. This person seemed to be very persistent about this spirit. Su Yun said this to give the other party a direction. He wanted to determine his identity through his belief in the Bushido spirit. This was because the people in this organization were suspected of being ninjas. However, ninjas were not particularly loyal to the Bushido spirit. Now, most of the people in Japan who were still loyal to the Bushido spirit were those stubborn believers who would follow them. In fact, many people didn't know that the true Bushido spirit originated from the Kamakura shogunate in Japan. Later, it was formed by absorbing the thoughts of Confucianism and Buddhism during the Edo period. The Bushido spirit advocated loyalty, trust, shame, martial arts, and reputation. However, as a political product of the feudal shogunate era, under the erosion of certain ideas, this spirit had a very serious change. It only absorbed some superficial things of Confucianism and Buddhism, but not their true essence, because those things couldn't satisfy the Bushido spirit. This thing was the Shinto religion of Japan, so the Bushido spirit in Japan was a kind of sick spirit. It was just that the Japanese themselves thought it was right. Many people knew about Shinto. Their symbol was very similar to the Sharingan. Therefore, the Bushido spirit would eventually be used by those people. Many people didn't even know what the true Bushido spirit was. They would just foolishly follow and do some stubborn things. The true spirit of the Japanese samurai should be Zoro from One Piece, Silver Hour from Silver Soul. It was a kind of righteousness and self-determination. However, the current Bushido in Japan was a kind of feudal and rotten thing. It was just a tool used by those in power to bully the weak. Therefore, the meaning of Bushido had changed. I don't care what you believe in, but those who believe in Bushido all say that they are brave and meaningless. In my opinion, Bushido is just a bunch of cowards who don't have the courage to face failure. When they encounter a problem that they can't solve and face failure, they choose to commit suicide, which they think is brave. It's actually a form of escape, isn't it? Su Yun continued to provoke this guy. Sometimes, when things on the surface couldn't destroy a person, it was easier to destroy a person's heart. You're talking nonsense. As expected, this person could no longer endure Su Yun's mental humiliation. Su Yun still had no intention of stopping. Let's take this opportunity to have a good chat. I've always felt that the core of Japanese samurai is ignorance and despicableness. This is also the foundation for the Japanese to establish their country for thousands of years. Don't slander my beliefs. I'm not afraid of death. I'm loyal and brave. Su Yun waved his hand. To put it bluntly, the leader of Bushido is the emperor, right? From the fact that he didn't dare to commit seppuku after being defeated and instead pushed the blame to his subordinates, you can see that he's cowardly and hypocritical. But his subordinates still have to show loyalty to the *T emperor. It shows how ignorant you are. It's not like that. We are loyal, trustworthy, and honorable. Nonsense. Su Yun directly interrupted this guy. The Nanjing Massacre, the Pearl Harbor Incident, 731, and so on all prove that you people are despicable and anti-human in your bones. You're still talking to me about trustworthiness? Do you really think that we're all idiots like you? Speak. Did Abe III arrange for you to come? No. Su Yun pulled up this guy's hair and slammed his entire face on the table. You're not going to speak, are you? Do you think that you can cover up the truth by not admitting it? Let me tell you, if you're really loyal, then you should obediently go back and investigate carefully. How many people have cheated on your Prime Minister? Investigate carefully if your Prime Minister's wife has contracted any illness. Don't pass the illness to your Prime Minister. Even if you kill me, it won't change my loyalty. Don't think that you can get anything out of me. I won't say anything. Su Yun sneered. I don't even need to ask to know your identity. I'm not asking you anything. I'm just telling you what you should do. I'll be defeated with honor. I'll die with no regrets. I find that you're really stubborn. Could it be that one of the green hats on your Prime Minister's head was given to him by you? Are you that loyal? Su Yun laughed. Do you think that we can't understand Abe III's thoughts? He didn't come to our military parade because he was afraid. Now that he's here, isn't it to create some threat? Don't humiliate our Bushido spirit. Our Bushido and the Western chivalry spirit are not something that Hua Xia's East Asian sick man can understand. This guy's mouth was really smelly. Don't blacken the Western chivalry spirit. The essence of chivalry is completely different from yours. Su Yun, do you think that I'm as uncultured as you? In the Knight's Code, there are rules to protect the weak and helpless, to help orphans and widows, to not offend others, and to respect women. This guy was speechless by Su Yun's words. What are you? In order to be loyal to your master, you're unscrupulous. Kill, take your head, commit suicide. You have no respect for life at all. You treat women as tools to vent your desires. You're just a bunch of hairless animals. Su Yun said disdainfully. Don't flatter yourself. We're loyal to what we believe in. You have no right to say that to me. This guy was completely crazy by Su Yun's words. We just can't stand you. The military parade, the flaunting, isn't it all for our Prime Minister? You just want to let us know how powerful you are. Su Yun smiled. You're still jealous. Didn't you refuse to admit it? Haven't you admitted it now? After being provoked by Su Yun, this guy didn't even know what he said before he was tricked by Su Yun. When he realized that he had admitted that he was a believer in the Bushido spirit of Japan and that he was Abe III's man, he was stunned. Abe III really thinks he's a big shot. We're going to show the anti-Japanese people all over the world. Who does Abe III think he is? Su Yun, save it, don't flatter yourself. We'll directly announce the reduction of 300,000 soldiers. Do you Japanese dare? Of course you don't. What can your self-defense forces do? Su Yun said disdainfully, go eat rice. If you want to destroy Japan, I can bring a team of people and cripple you. Don't be a fool. All right, you've admitted what you should admit. Reflect on yourself. After being taught a lesson by Su Yun, this person was completely in a panic. He didn't even know what he had said. After Su Yun went out, he stretched. Okay, Abe III, you bastard. Instead of disciplining your wife at home, you found people to cause trouble in Hua Xia. Whether you admit it or not, I'll make sure your lackeys don't return. After Wang Yi saw Su Yun walk out of the interrogation room, he turned to Yu Meiren and said, let him do whatever he wants. I'm afraid he can't wait anymore. He's really impatient. Yu Meiren sighed helplessly. I thought I'd let him rest well today. It seems that he won't be idle today. Sister, don't worry. I'll take good care of my brother. Lin Gu said, I'll be by his side. Don't worry. Chapter 2380. After Su Yun walked out of the interrogation room, he could not wait for even a minute. He glanced at Han Zhan and directly ordered, "Take me there now. These bastards are too bold. If we can't catch them, none of the brothers of the Dragon Fury team will have the face to come back." Then about the person from Sky's Eye. Han Zhan said, "Shadow Dragon asked me to tell you that Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang have found clues and are now investigating according to the clues. Boss, should you focus on that side? The two of them are enough to deal with them. Even if they can't catch the person, they won't be much of a threat. Su Yun, the people from Sky's Eye won't attack innocent people, so there won't be any social harm. But these Japanese bastards are different. They came here with the determination to die. If we don't get rid of them as soon as possible, they might cause some trouble." "Then let's go now," Han Zhan said. "Although they encountered some trouble on the way and were distracted by this guy, I believe they have already reacted and should be able to adapt." Su Yun nodded. "I believe in their adaptability. They won't be fooled so easily." After that, Su Yun looked at Wang Yi, as if asking for Wang Yi's opinion. Wang Yi just nodded faintly. "I believe in your arrangement. The people in the Dragon's Fury Special Forces are all your brothers. You can do as you see fit. You also know the girl who was brought back by Sky's Eye. I believe that your judgment won't be wrong." After receiving Wang Yi's instructions, Su Yun was even more certain of his decision. After bidding farewell to Yu Meiren, he brought Lin Ge and Han Zhan to meet up with the brothers of the Dragon Fury team. Su Yun's arrival directly gave the brothers of the Dragon Fury team an extraordinary boost of morale. For them, the spirit Su Yun could give them was far from being comparable to anything else. "We've already found the latest movement. If I'm not mistaken, those bastards should have fled in the southwest direction." Qian Feng reported to Su Yun, "As long as we follow this route, we should be able to catch up." It was already 5:30 in the afternoon, and it was a little cloudy today, so the sky was a little dark. Su Yun looked at the time and said to all the brothers in the Dragon Fury team, "Brothers, I remember that we were often lectured a long time ago. Do what you want to do today, and don't put it off until tomorrow. Isn't that right?" "Yes." This reply was even louder than the classic "serve the name" during the military parade. There are still more than 6 hours before the end of the day, which means that we must solve this matter before dawn. Otherwise, today's matter will be put off until tomorrow. Su Yun, I've already interrogated the person you caught just now. If I'm not wrong, this organization is very likely related to the Japanese cuckold, Abe III. Hearing this, everyone clenched their fists. They did not expect this cuckold to be bullied in some way. He would actually do such a despicable thing because he was jealous of Hua Xia's powerful military power. In fact, it was not difficult to understand. This bastard wanted to create chaos in Hua Xia, so that people would pay less attention to his wife cheating on him. After all, there were more than 1 billion people in Hua Xia now. There were not many people who did not know that Abe III's wife cheated on him, so Abe III felt embarrassed. One must know that in Japan, generally speaking, the status of women was quite low. His wife actually dared to treat him like this. How disrespectful was that to him? Even if she was the Prime Minister's wife and not a woman of low status, she should have kept a low profile in front of him, the Prime Minister. Otherwise, it would really be inexcusable. She blatantly cheated on Abe III. Abe III's support rate was so low now. There were so many people holding small flags at the entrance of the capital every day and shouting for him to step down. There was no doubt that he was angry in his heart. Therefore, Abe III had sufficient reason to snatch the Ebola virus weapon. Once he had the Ebola virus weapon, he would have the confidence to challenge Hua Xia. Moreover, he would also have the ability to threaten the United States. This way, the United States, the Godfather, would not always dare to order him around like a grandson. This way, Abe III would have face. Once he had face, he would no longer act like a grandson internationally. His citizens would then support him. Otherwise, who would support a prime minister who licked the chrysanthemum of the United States Bamako? Abe III really found a way to redeem himself this time. Therefore, this arrangement also showed Abe III's lack of confidence. This matter was really out of his control. This was an evil path, a typical crooked path. As long as Abe III could snatch the Ebola virus weapon in this way, he would be able to control everything. With confidence and the right to speak, there would be a way out. Perhaps in Abe III's heart, this was his only chance to reach the peak of life again. Abe III, this cuckold, is really capable of doing anything. If we don't teach him a lesson this time, he really won't know that he's a cuckold. Chen Feng gritted his teeth and said, "None of these people can be let go. No matter where they escape to, they must be killed." Let Abe III explain. These people came with a death order. They would rather die than admit the truth. Su Yun, so they won't admit who their master is. Su Yun, Abe III won't be stupid enough to stand up and admit that he did everything. Hua Leitang thought more rationally. It's better if he doesn't admit it. He'll just suffer in silence. Just like how his wife was slept with, he can't admit it. But the truth is the truth. He doesn't need to admit it. It can't be changed. You're right. We just need all of them to disappear from Huaxia. Su Yun nodded. Abe III will naturally know what happened. Let him not understand us. Let him be even more frightened. Let them know that Huaxia's land is inviolable. If they dare to make a move on our land, they must die. Everyone said. Su Yun raised his hand to signal for everyone to be quiet. As long as the direction is right, we will definitely catch up to them before tonight. They are a group of very confident people. Otherwise, they wouldn't dare to make a move in Yanjing. I've fought with them before. They are definitely a group of well-trained people. We must not let our guard down. Boss, don't worry. This time, we will definitely not let these people return. Chen Feng said. As long as we destroy Abe III's meticulous plan, I believe that his political career will come to an end. Su Yun, the whole of Dongying is now calling for Abe III to step down. They are all asking for the abolition of the Security Act. If Abe loses his territory, he will really have to go home with his tail between his legs. For such a political family that had been in Dongying's political circle for many years, this was definitely an extremely embarrassing thing. If the old ghosts of the Abe family who had died knew about this, would they be so angry that they would jump out of their coffins and point at their useless descendants and scold them? Abe III might not be a guy who was suitable for politics. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in such a terrible state today. It was embarrassing to say it out loud. After he came to power, he didn't do anything decent. There were a bunch of scandals, and any decision he made would cause dissatisfaction among the people. He even caused a fire in his backyard. To be able to do this as a person, it was really the end of the line. I don't even know how this green-haired turtle still has the face to live. If it were me, I would really jump off a building. Chen Feng said, "He's really brave. He's still alive. Then this time, we will do something to force him to jump off a building." Hua Leitang smiled. Su Yun shook his head. "Don't worry. This turtle's green hair is very thick. It can withstand all kinds of failures and setbacks. He won't jump off a building easily. Moreover, he hasn't figured out how many people have cheated on him. If he jumps off a building like this, I'm afraid he won't feel at ease, right? Yes, if he jumps off a building, then there will be other men who will sleep with his wife and beat his children," Han Zhan said. "Even if he loses all his face, he won't die easily. If he steps down, I don't think anyone will sleep with his wife." Chen Feng said softly, "She's old and ugly. If it wasn't for his wife, no one would touch her, right? The people who slept with his wife probably wanted to make him a cuckold, so they had no choice but to suffer. Okay, let's stop talking nonsense. Let's move. Su Yun, split into 5 groups and search. The fish must be caught before dawn." Chapter 2381. The 5 teams that Su Yun had divided into 5 teams headed towards the southwest direction. Soon, they locked onto a factory in the suburbs that had already declared bankruptcy. This was originally a medical equipment manufacturing factory, but due to improper management, it went bankrupt. It was indeed very difficult for Huaxia to do production now. The poor economy would lead to many losses. After so many years, many people had been wondering why money was worthless. Perhaps it was because too much RMB had been printed, which led to this situation. Many small and medium-sized enterprises faced failure due to insufficient production funds. The banks did not dare to lend easily because of too many bad debts over the years, which led to this problem. What they did not know was that it was the large enterprises that could not repay the money. Due to corruption in certain aspects, it led to a vicious cycle. After the housing reform, at the beginning of 1989, when Yanjing first publicly sold commercial housing in prime locations, the highest and best price should be 2,000 yuan per square meter. According to some investigations by the relevant departments, the average price of housing in the country at that time was 300 to 400 yuan. Some small areas only had a price of 100 yuan. The wages were low at that time, but there were many people who could buy a square meter with their monthly salary. But now, a commercial housing in Yanjing's prime location was 2,000 yuan? Dream on. 20,000 yuan? It was still a dream. Even if it was 200,000 yuan, there would still be people fighting for it, right? What about some third or fourth tier small cities? How much was the housing price? 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. There were too many. And the income of these third and fourth tier small cities was not much. A monthly salary of 2 to 3,000 was considered a good unit, and it was comparable to the official business. A monthly salary of 5 to 6,000 was enough to buy a 1 square meter house. That was considered a high income, right? At least 80% of the people in these small cities could not buy a dozen or 20 square meters per year. To put it simply, there was more money printed, but the money distributed to the people did not change, which led to the current situation. This situation was not caused by the people's lack of effort, but it was inevitable. The economy was declining, and the growth of fiscal revenue slowed down significantly. Last year's fiscal revenue growth was only in the single digits. There was a serious oversupply of real estate, and the government's revenue from selling land decreased significantly. Under such circumstances, the civil servants needed a raise, the military expenditure was also increasing, and so on. Any government unit in the country would probably have a group of idle people. They didn't even know what they were busy with when they went to work. Their work efficiency was low, and a simple task could only be completed after 8 rounds. These were all reasons. That was why many projects were unable to continue due to the decline in revenue. Therefore, at this time, the price of crude oil would fall, but the consumption tax on gasoline would continue to increase. This was a trap for many people who rarely drove and thought that the drop in oil prices would allow them to save more money. Of course, increasing taxes would naturally increase the revenue, but it would be a huge blow to the economy. This medical equipment manufacturer produces a lot of products. So, although the company was incurring losses in the past, the government subsidized them through export tax rebates and other subsidies. In the past, the reason why the value of the money could continue to rise was largely due to the pressure from the U.S. empire. Now, our Prime Minister is resolute and resolute. He is no longer afraid of the U.S. empire's pressure on the exchange rate. He can let the currency depreciate. I'm not even afraid of war. Why would I be afraid of you pressuring me to devalue the RMB? Actually, thinking about it carefully, the depreciation of money might not be a bad thing for Huaxia. It's just that some of these enterprises can't be maintained anymore. But if they go bankrupt, so be it. If they can't generate income, there's no point in keeping them. It will only waste the country's money. Anyway, the owners of these loss-making enterprises were not poor. They spent the country's and the bank's money on many extravagant things in their lives. In the end, it didn't matter. There should be no one in this abandoned factory. The company went bankrupt, the owner ran away with the money, and everything that could be sold in the factory was taken away by the workers. No one would visit a place like this. However, Su Yun and the rest felt a lot of auras. This was why Su Yun and the rest were sure that the other party would gather in this place. For Huaxia people, this kind of place was an unlucky place. No one would be so free as to come here to look for trouble. Perhaps only those idiots from Japan would think that this was a safe place. Speaking of which, this was indeed the case. This place was really the only good choice for them. The place was remote, there were no lights, and there were few people. There were many large and empty factories. If someone came, it would be easy for them to detect it. The Japanese were also humans. They would get hungry even if they didn't eat. In order to escape, they took many turns and corners without stopping to rest. Now that they had a place like this, they naturally wanted to sit down and have a good meal. Speaking of which, these guys were really good at enduring hardships. They were well prepared. They even brought pots and some rice to cook soup. They ate some canned beef and canned sardines. As for their dry rations, they ate compressed biscuits. I hope Mr. Kaneda can give me some time. I will definitely come up with a better plan. Kaneda Tekawawa nodded. Very good. You are from Huaxia. You know Huaxia better than we do. You know how Huaxia thinks, so I believe you can come up with a better plan. Don't let me down. I think highly of you. Do you understand? Understood. I will do my best for Mr. Kaneda. No, it's not for me. It's for the Japanese Empire. Kaneda Tekawawa said, You will be recognized by the Emperor and the Prime Minister. Yes. Bai Sheng looked fearful. Chapter 2382. As long as you receive the Japanese Empire's acknowledgement, you will become one of the Japanese Empire's upper-class people. In the future, the Sakura Group's operations in China will be under your command, and you will be the highest commander in China. This position is high enough, right? It should be enough for you to work for the Japanese Empire, right? Kaneda Tekawawa laughed. Bai Sheng nodded. This position was high enough. Thinking that he would be the leader of a region in the future, he felt a sense of glory. Mr. Kaneda, how many of our Sakura Group members are there in Huaxia? When can I get in touch with them? How many? Ha ha ha. You are the only one now. Do you believe me? It has been 70 years. We have surrendered for 70 years. How can we have time to develop? Kaneda Tekawawa said, What the Japanese Empire needs to do now is to step out and put on a new mask. We need to let the world think that we are kind. How can we have time to develop the Sakura Group? The smile on Bai Sheng's face was a little stiff. After all this time, he was now a commander without an army. What was the point? Wasn't this a little too much? What? You don't like it? Kaneda Tekawawa said, Bai Sheng, I can tell you responsibly that only those who put in the most effort will get the most rewards. If you don't want to work for the Sakura Group, there are plenty of people who want to work for us. You can leave at any time. But if you want to return to the Sakura Group in the future, I'm afraid it will be impossible. Mr. Kaneda, I don't mean that. I will do my best for the Sakura Group. Bai Sheng quickly said, This time, I will find a way to get the Ebola virus weapon. I swear, I will not let you down. It's good to have your promise. Kaneda Tekawawa said, You must remember that the Japanese Empire will not accept losers. If your plan doesn't succeed, you will have to commit suicide. Do your best. I don't want to see you die. You still have a lot of important things to do. I will not fail. Bai Sheng gritted his teeth. He didn't want to do such a cruel thing. He definitely wouldn't commit suicide to atone for his sins. Bai Sheng's desire for victory made him a little crazy. Ever since he accepted the Sakura Group's arrangement to keep an eye on the Ebola virus in Taiwan, he had carefully planned everything. However, the plan had failed. He really did not know what to do. Based on the current situation, there was no way he could come up with a detailed plan in a short period of time. Su Yun had taken Arbola to a place that he could not possibly break into, and Kaneda Mugawa did not want to expose himself. Right now, all he knew was to run. He only knew that he could not let the relevant authorities in Huaxia know about their identities. What could he, Bai Sheng, use to play with? He had no capital at all. If he could have taken Arbola by himself, he would not have waited until they came to Yenjing to make his move. If it wasn't for the fact that Kaneda Mugawa was a high-ranking member of the Sakura group, Bai Shang would have found a chance to kill him. Every time he was asked to do something, the conditions given to him were so limited, yet he still wanted the best results and returns. What a joke! However, Bai Shang could only swallow all of that. He did not even dare to get angry, let alone say anything. He did not even dare to show any displeasure. Who do you think is responsible for what happened today? Kaneda Mugawa knew very well that the plan had failed. They had to submit a report to the higher-ups, and he had no way of knowing how Bai Shang would write the report. But before he submitted the report, he had to give Bai Shang a warning. He had to let Bai Shang know what he should write, what he should write, what he should not write, and how he should write it. Mr. Kaneda, what happened today? Of course, the main responsibility lies with me. When Bai Shang said this, his heart was really sullen. I didn't choose a good location and misjudged their individual strength. I shouldn't have. I will bear the responsibility that I should bear. Bai Shang, I'm not asking you to bear any responsibility. It's just that you didn't make the proper arrangements. Otherwise, this accident wouldn't have happened. Kaneda Mugawa said, this is a lesson that you must learn from in the future. Yes. Bai Shang nodded. Kaneda Mugawa continued, but don't worry. Even if the higher-ups come, I will help you block them. As long as you can get the Ebola virus weapon, everything will be fine. You people in Huaxia have a saying, make up for your mistakes with good deeds. Am I right? I understand. Bai Shang said in his heart. Do I need you to tell me that? As long as I get Ebola, I will have everything. Kaneda Mugawa looked around. Are you sure this place is safe? There won't be any accidents, right? Mr. Kaneda, don't worry. I can guarantee the safety of this place. Bai Shang said, no one will come here because in the eyes of us Huaxia people, this place is an unlucky place. What do you mean by unlucky? Kaneda Mugawa frowned. Bai Shang was stunned. It means bad luck. How do I explain it? It means that this place has too much turbid air. Those who pass by or visit will be contaminated by the turbid air, causing their blessings to dissipate. If it is not resolved in time, the turbid air will enter the meridians and grow by depleting the person's qi and blood. As a result, the health of those who are contaminated by the unlucky will deteriorate, and bad things will happen one after another. Generally, the unlucky will haunt a person for decades. Kaneda Mugawa's eyes widened. Are you saying that the turbid air in this place is very heavy? That's why we will be contaminated by the unlucky when we come here? Yes, that's what I mean. Bai Shang nodded and smiled. Bastard. Then why did you bring me to this place? Do you want me to be infected with the unlucky? Kaneda Mugawa was furious. He did not want to be infected with such things. Ill health and bad luck were the things he hated the most. Bai Shang quickly waved his hand and explained, No, that's not what I meant. Mr. Kaneda, please don't misunderstand. This is just a superstition from Huaxia. There is no such thing as bad luck. Please don't take it to heart. How can I not take it to heart? Kaneda Mugawa said, What is superstition? I'd rather believe in this kind of thing than not. Do you understand? Mr. Kaneda, please don't take it to heart. Only in this kind of place, no one will come here. Bai Shang said, We are 100% safe here. If we are infected with the unlucky, how can we be safe? Kaneda Mugawa said, We will be unlucky. Isn't that what you said just now? Bai Shang was helpless. Where else could he find him to stay? This was already very good. Unlucky is just a saying. How can it be really unlucky? If we are really found by the people they are chasing, then it will be really unlucky. It is a blessing to be able to stay here. Kaneda Mugawa was very dissatisfied with Bai Shang's explanation. You better prove that we are not unlucky. Otherwise, I will not forgive you. If we are unlucky, then immediately let the people related to Huaxia find our hiding place. Bai Shang patted his chest confidently. Just as he finished speaking, Su Yun clapped his hands and smiled. Sorry, it seems that you are really infected with bad luck. You are destined to be unlucky. Su Yun's sudden appearance made Kaneda Mugawa, Bai Shang, and everyone present stand up in surprise. Kaneda Mugawa immediately put on the white mask. His subordinates also put on their masks. It seemed that even at this time, they still did not want to see others with their real faces. When Bai Shang saw that Su Yun was alone, he was stunned. However, he quickly recovered. Since there was only one person, it was much easier to deal with him. You are really haunting us. You even chased us here. Bai Shang said sternly, since you want to die so much, we will not keep you. Wait a minute. Kaneda Mugawa suddenly shouted. He faced Su Yun and asked rudely, tell us first, where did you send the Ebola virus weapon? Su Yun waved his hand and said to the masked Kaneda Mugawa, then tell me first. Is your Prime Minister's wife a bus? Do your Emperor and your Prime Minister often play the game of changing wives? Kaneda Tekawawa was stunned. He did not expect that this person would be able to guess that they were from Dongying. After all, Bai Shang, who was in contact with him, was definitely a Hua Xia. Chapter 2383. Bai Shang sneered. I know you must be a courageous person. Otherwise, you would not have gotten involved in the Ebola virus weapon. However, I did not expect you to be so courageous. You actually dared to chase me all the way to this place. Su Yun shrugged. Can't help it. I was born brave, and people gave me the nickname Bold Su. It's your bad luck to run into me. Are you really that confident? Bai Shang pointed around. See, there are so many of us. You think you can do it all by yourself? Do you really think you're a god? Su Yun took a deep breath. Yeah, there are so many of you. I really don't have any chance of winning. TSK, TSK, TSK. I was too careless this time. I didn't get off easy. Tell us where the Ebola virus weapon is, and we might spare your life. Kaneda Tekawawa's goal was very clear. It was the Ebola virus weapon. Nothing else mattered to him. His mission was to get the weapon and bring it back safely. If I give it to you, you'll maybe spare my life? What's the difference between that and winning the lottery? Su Yun said. I'm not a fool. Cut the crap. Then tell me your terms. Kaneda Tekawawa said, as long as you can name your terms, I can afford it. I only want the Ebola virus. I don't care about anything else. Su Yun stroked his chin. From your tone, it sounds like you're quite generous. You'll agree to any condition I have? As long as I give you the Ebola virus weapon? That's right. I can agree to any terms. Kaneda Tekawawa nodded. He sneered in his heart. Hua Xia people were so easily tempted. A promise was enough. Then I want your Emperor and Prime Minister to add soles to my shoes. Can you agree to that? Hee. I'm afraid you can't make that decision, right? Su Yun said. Kaneda Tekawawa glared. For people who believed in Shinto, the Emperor was a god in their eyes. Su Yun could humiliate the Prime Minister verbally, but he could not insult the Emperor. This was a great disrespect to the god in their hearts. If you dare to disrespect our heavenly Emperor again, don't blame me for tearing you into pieces. Jin Tian Wuchuan was already filled with killing intent. Because the Dragon Fury team brothers had not completely surrounded him, Su Yun still needed to delay for a while, so he hurriedly waved his hand. Okay, let's not talk about your Mikado. I won't joke around anymore. Give me some time to think about what conditions I have. Good. I'll give you 1 minute, Jin Tian Mugawa said. What can I do in 1 minute? I'm a person with a phobia of choices. I can't even be sure if I'll walk with my left foot or right foot in 1 minute. Su Yun, give me more time, I'll think about it. Bai Shang looked at Kaneda Mugawa anxiously. Mr. Kaneda, we can't fall into his trap. He must be up to something. We must be careful. We must not fall into his trap. He's just one person, what kind of trap can he set for me? Everything is under my control now. Kaneda Mugawa pointed at his temple and said, "You Huaxia people, this place isn't as good as us Japanese people. He can't possibly come up with any good ideas." Although Bai Shang was speechless, he didn't dare to go against Kaneda Mugawa's intention, so he had no choice but to give up persuading him. "Let me tell you, don't think that I'm a pushover." Kaneda Mugawa sneered and said to Su Yun, "If you have any tricks up your sleeve, I won't believe you." "Don't worry, I won't have any tricks up my sleeve. Su Yun, I only have one condition. As long as you agree to it, we can talk about the rest." Kaneda Mugawa nodded. "Okay, what condition?" "As long as I can do it, I'll definitely do it. It's very simple for you, you can definitely do it." Su Yun smiled and pointed at Bai Sheng. "I don't like this guy. As long as you kill him, we can talk about the Ebola virus weapon." After hearing Su Yun's words, Bai Sheng almost flew into a rage. "Mr. Kaneda, he's trying to sow discord between us. His purpose is to reap the benefits." Bai Sheng was anxious. "You can't listen to him. If you listen to his slanderous words, it's equivalent to falling into his trap." Kaneda Mugawa glanced at Bai Sheng and ignored his explanation. However, he didn't have the intention to kill Bai Sheng immediately. Bai Sheng looked at Kaneda Mugawa nervously. The fine sweat on his forehead flowed down his cheeks. He really didn't know how to explain. Now, Su Yun seemed to be determined to teach him a lesson, but he didn't have any right to speak in front of Kaneda Mugawa. Bai Sheng didn't understand why Su Yun was doing this. They were born from the same root. Why was he so anxious to kill each other? "Why do you want me to kill him?" Kaneda Mugawa looked at Su Yun and asked faintly. Bai Sheng's heart instantly rose to his throat. He couldn't see through Kaneda Mugawa's thoughts. That was why he was afraid and worried. "Didn't I say that I don't like him? He cheated me, played me, and tricked me." Su Yun said, "I hate people like him the most. So, if you kill him, I'll give you the information about the Ebola virus weapon. It should be quite suitable, right? Mr. Kaneda, I know where the Ebola virus weapon is." Bai Sheng said, "He doesn't need to tell me." Kaneda Mugawa raised his hand and motioned for Bai Sheng to shut up. He smiled at Su Yun and said, "You heard what he said just now. He also knows where you put the Ebola virus weapon. So, your condition is not tempting to me. What I want is for you to give me the weapon." "As long as I give you the weapon, you can kill him?" Su Yun asked. Kaneda Mugawa said, "Of course. As long as you give me the weapon, I'll agree to your condition." "Mr. Kaneda, how can you do this?" Bai Sheng looked at Kaneda Mugawa in surprise. Kaneda Mugawa glared at him and said, "Sacrificing yourself for the Empire and giving up everything you have is your honor. Even if you die, your reputation will be remembered by us forever. So, this is your honor." "Honor? I'm already dead. What honor do I need?" Bai Sheng said, "I'm not doing this for you to die. I'm not that noble. I'm very realistic. And how can they give you the Ebola virus?" "Mr. Kaneda, don't be so naive." "He said you're naive." Su Yun said, "But I don't think it's naive. I think it's an opportunity. It's something a smart person wouldn't miss." Kaneda Mugawa glared at Bai Sheng and said, "If you don't even have this bit of awareness, what do you want to be?" "This isn't a matter of awareness. This is fate." Bai Sheng said, "Mr. Kaneda, if you were to give your life to him in exchange for the Ebola virus weapon, would you be willing to do so?" "Of course I would. That's my honor," Kaneda Mugawa said. Bai Sheng pointed at Kaneda Mugawa and said to Su Yun, "Did you hear that? He's willing. He's willing to exchange his life for the Ebola virus weapon. My life is obviously not as valuable as his. Why don't you let him exchange his life for it? He said he's willing." Su Yun nodded and said, "That makes sense. We can do that." Kaneda Mugawa glared at Bai Shang and said, "Bastard! What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Do you know what you're doing? Bastard!" "I don't know, but I can only say that I don't want to die." Bai Shang said, "I can do anything for the Sakura Group, but I'll never let you exchange my life for anything. That's meaningless to me." Sakura Group? Su Yun was slightly stunned when he heard these words. This was not arranged by the Japanese green-haired tortoise. The Sakura Group was an organization in Japan. They had been working for the Japanese government for hundreds of years. The members of the Sakura Group were very messy. There were all kinds of people. Samurai, ronin, ninja. As long as they were willing to be the Japanese government's lackey, they would join. And these people slowly integrated their own things into the group. That was why Su Yun felt that their greeting was messy when he fought with them. Everything had a little taste, but when they were mixed together, they didn't look alike. Chapter 2384. Kaneda Tekawawa was obviously upset that Bai Shang had revealed the name of the Sakura Group. Now that his identity had been exposed, there was no longer any secret to speak of. Su Yun did not know much about the Sakura Gumi. He had only heard that this organization was formed to be a lackey for the Emperor of Japan. Back then, the founder of the Sakura Gumi, Otsuka Hiro, was a loyal follower of Amaterasu. The Amaterasu god was the ruler of Takamagara and the sun god in Japanese mythology. He was the ancestor of the current emperor of Japan and the highest god of Shintoism. Since he believed in the Amaterasu god, he was loyal to the descendants of the Amaterasu god, the emperor of Japan. No matter what the emperor of Japan asked him to do, he would do it without hesitation. Even if the emperor asked him to kill his own family, he would not even blink an eye. After a long time of settling down, Otsuka Hiro formed the Sakura Group and recruited all absolute followers of Shintoism. It was because of the belief of these brainless people that the Sakura Group was formed. 70 years ago, the Sakura Group had committed many unforgivable crimes in Huaxia. After the defeat of Japan, the Sakura Group was forgotten for a while. However, this organization didn't die out. There was always a group of brainless believers who inherited it, and they were constantly recruiting new blood. When the Japanese political idiots encountered a problem that they could not solve, they could only ask the emperor for help. These people who would never refuse the emperor's request were the best tools. In their eyes, the emperor's shit was a holy meal that could make them immortal, let alone something the emperor asked them to do. Everyone knew that the Emperor of Japan was the title of the Emperor of Japan. It was the symbol of Japan's country. The Emperor of Japan was the longest monarch system in the history of the world. It was said that since ancient times, Japan had not changed dynasties and had always been part of the royal family. Since the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate, the Emperor of Japan's power was taken away until the shogunate system was abolished and the emperor regained power. When the Meiji era was changed, the Emperor of Japan's power reached its peak. Otsuka Hiro's Sakura Group was formed at that time. It was also at that time that Japan embarked on the evil path of the Japanese state. During Showa's reign, he commanded Japan to invade China and the Pacific War, bringing great disaster to the people of Asia, causing tens of millions of innocent people to die. In the end, although Japan lost the war, in order to accept this godson, the United States complied with the public opinion of Japan and allowed the emperor to remain as the symbolic head of the country. This forced Showa to declare that the Emperor of Japan was no longer a god in the modern world. To a certain extent, this weakened the loyalty that had existed in the Japanese for a long time, but it still existed. Right now, the entire government was controlled by the political families in Japan, and the emperor seemed to have gone into seclusion behind the scenes. However, there were still some shady dealings between them. Otherwise, how could these political families let the emperor eat for free? They made use of the emperor's divinity that still existed in the hearts of the Japanese to bring spiritual sustenance to the people, and the emperor would also give them face and let them play politics more easily. That was why these people were still connected. Abe No. 3 was able to become the prime minister because of the emperor's help. His relationship with the emperor was definitely not ordinary. Therefore, it was reasonable for him to ask the Emperor of Japan for help in the face of a crisis. Su Yun's lips curled into a cold smile. What was there to explain to this group of bastards? Could it be that the Sakura group was India's Shamate group? Since you already know my identity, I'll make it clear. If you don't stand on my side to solve the problem, you'll die. Kaneda Tekawawa said, "Don't test my patience. I promise you that I'll kill him. You'll go and get me the Ebola weapon today." "Mr. Kaneda, are you crazy? How can you promise him that? He'll never give you the Ebola weapon." Bai Sheng was ready to escape at any time. He was not stupid enough to die for nothing. However, Kaneda Tekawawa did not seem to care about Bai Sheng. He suddenly pulled out the sword at his waist. The silver light flashed, and a gust of cold air appeared. "What are you doing? Mr. Kaneda, you can't be fooled by him. Even a 5-year-old child can tell that he's lying to you." Bai Sheng retreated step by step. Kaneda Tekawawa said coldly, "Today, I'll show him the consequences of lying to me. Bai Sheng, you're our pride. I'll give you the highest honor. Your sacrifice will not be in vain." "No. You can't do this." Bai Sheng shook his head like a madman. Kaneda Tekawawa said to Su Yun, "Look carefully. As you wish, I'll let him die here today. As long as he's dead, you'll have to bring me the Ebola weapon. If you can't, you'll end up like him. Then I'll have to take a good look at his fate. Mr. Jinda, you have to be cruel. Otherwise, I might not be afraid." Su Yun grinned. "If you want me to be afraid, then the scarier the better." "You despicable man." Bai Sheng glared at Su Yun. At this time, Kaneda Tekawawa was already stabbing at Bai Sheng. Bai Sheng didn't dare to fight back against Kaneda Tekawawa, so he could only run away. Kaneda Tekawawa's swordsmanship wasn't simple. Tsurugawa Ryu's swordsmanship was strong and powerful. Almost every slash could cut a person in half. Just this momentum alone wasn't something an ordinary person could have. Bai Sheng kept retreating. As he begged for mercy, he said to Su Yun, "You despicable man. Fight me one-on-one if you have the guts. I'm afraid my hands will be dirty if I fight against you." Su Yun said disdainfully, "Since you're willing to work for the Japanese, I'll let you know what kind of people they are. In their eyes, you're just a pile of feces that can be discarded at any time. You're still trying to be nice to them. It's really admirable. What I do is my own business. It's none of your business." Bai Sheng said, "Let me tell you, as long as I leave here today, I won't let you go. It's a pity that you can't leave. The Japanese won't let you leave. Do you dare to leave?" Su Yun raised his eyebrows. Kaneda Tekawawa didn't use any strength when he attacked Bai Sheng. He didn't believe that Bai Sheng would dare to run away. In his eyes, this guy should stand in front of him obediently and be cut in half by him. "Mr. Kaneda, I can't listen to you today. I hope you can forgive me." Bai Sheng said, "Don't worry. I'll find a way to get the Ebola virus weapon for you as an apology. I'll take my leave now." Kaneda Tekawawa was stunned. "If you dare to leave today, don't ever return to the Sakura group. I'll order everyone in the Sakura group to hunt you down. That's still better than me dying here." Bai Sheng said, "I don't want to die. This is this guy's cheap trap. Why do you have to fall into it? Are you doubting my intelligence?" Kaneda Tekawawa raised his sword and asked. Bai Sheng shook his head. "I don't dare. But this time, I can't become a victim of this guy's lies. I still have to work for the Sakura group and the Emperor of Japan. Please give me this chance. I won't let you down." Kaneda Tekawawa's sword suddenly turned around. Bai Sheng felt a chill. He knew that Kaneda Tekawawa was serious. This wasn't something to be trifled with. He had seen how powerful Tsurugawa Ryu's swordsmanship was. Bai Sheng also knew Kaneda Tekawawa's true strength. If Kaneda Tekawawa really wanted to kill him, he wouldn't be able to last more than 10 moves. Bai Sheng's reaction was fast. The moment Kaneda Tekawawa made his move, he immediately ran to the back door of the factory. The speed of his escape had really reached the peak of his life. Kaneda Tekawawa's reaction was also fast. He turned around and wanted to chase after him. However, the back door of the factory was suddenly kicked open. The flying door slammed into Bai Shang's face. Lin Gur and Qian Feng led a few Dragon's Fury brothers and rushed in from the back door. Following that, the windows in all directions of the factory were also broken. Hua Leiteng and Han Zhan each took one side. After receiving Qian Feng's notice, they rushed in with their men. The entire factory was immediately surrounded by the brothers of the Dragon Fury team. Because everything happened so suddenly, Kaneda Tekawawa was completely in disbelief. Chapter 2385. Bai Shang was knocked to the ground by the door. He saw Lin Ji's ferocious face as soon as he got up. Lin Gu wanted to tear him apart the moment he saw him. You still want to run? Where can you run to? Open your dog eyes and see if you can still run away. Lin Gu spat. Let me tell you, you have no chance at all this time. Bai Shang and Kaneda Mugawa were stunned by the sudden appearance of so many people, especially Kaneda Mugawa. He thought that he had the entire situation under control, but now he realized that the other party was only trying to attract his attention and give them time to surround them. Now that the entire factory was surrounded by the enemy's men, there was no way for Kaneda Tekawa to escape with his men. Bai Shang widened his eyes and pointed at the Dragon Fury team brothers. He said to Kaneda Mugawa, Mr. Kaneda, do you see this? Look at these people. They were all brought here by this Su Yun. He wanted to use you to kill me just now. He was just toying with you. You really don't know what's good for you, Lin Gu scolded. If my brother wanted to kill you, would he need to use a useless samurai from Japan? He only did this to let you see the true colors of the Japanese. They didn't treat you as a human at all, and you're still following behind them? What's the point? Bai Shang thought about it carefully and realized that this was indeed the case. If he didn't run fast enough, he would have been slashed apart by Jintian Mugawa's blade. Jintian Mugawa didn't treat him as a life just now. He only treated him like a cat or dog that could be slaughtered at will. The Japanese were just using you. Not only did you not reflect on it, you even acknowledged the thief as your father. Do you really think that the Japanese will treat you well? Qian Feng said, What kind of IQ do you have? Don't listen to these lowly Chinese. It's an honor to sacrifice myself for the empire. I just want to bring honor to you. Kaneda Mugawa insisted, For this honor, anyone can do anything. Do you understand? Bai Shang looked at Jintian Mugawa in disbelief. Mr. Jintian, what about you? If your death can be exchanged for the Ebola virus weapon, are you willing to accept death? Of course I'm willing. Kaneda Tekawa said, If they want me dead, they can give you the Ebola virus weapon and let you take it back. I will not hesitate to die for my country. What a glorious thing this was. This kind of glory was not something that anyone could encounter. Do you understand? Bai Shang shook his head. He really didn't King understand what there was to be proud of. If he lost his life, who would be proud of him? Moreover, Japan wasn't his home country. When Su Yun heard Kaneda Tekawa's words, he laughed and said, I will give you this opportunity, Kaneda. Perform a disembowelment suicide for our brothers and make us happy. I will really give the Ebola virus weapon to Bai Sheng. What do you think? As soon as Su Yun said this, Jintian Mugawa's face immediately sank. Of course, he wasn't that stupid. Although he said it beautifully, things like dying for the country were used to fool his subordinates. It wasn't something that could be used against him. Therefore, Jintian Mugawa couldn't accept Su Yun's words. Swoosh! Jintian Mugawa pointed his katana directly at Su Yun. Su Yun smiled. What do you mean by disembowelment? Don't use your flowery words to deceive me. Even if I disembowelment, you won't give the Ebola virus weapon to Bai Sheng. Jintian Mugawa said, You are a Chinese liar who spouts nonsense. I won't believe you. You don't believe me when I ask you to die. You believe me when I ask him to die? Are you here in Huaxia to carry out a mission, or are you here to show off your low IQ in Huaxia? After Su Yun said this, the smile on his face disappeared. Let me tell you, if you dare to talk about Chinese people for the third time, I will make sure you die completely. The term Chinese was a humiliating term used by the Japanese to refer to Huaxia people. Perhaps there were many official explanations, but in the eyes of the Japanese, Chinese people were Huaxia people with mental problems. They were stupid Huaxia people. And this kind of humiliating name had long disappeared after Japan surrendered. Those who would still talk about Chinese people were definitely anti-Chinese people in their bones. That depends on whether you have the ability to do so. Jintian Mugawa was also filled with murderous intent. He knew that his only way out now was to kill his way out. Bai Shang, it's time for the Empire to test you. Fight to the death with these people. Bai Shang was also vigilant and prepared for anything. You are really stupid. What does this Japanese old bastard think you are? You still listen to him? Lin Gu was speechless when he saw Bai Shang's preparations. He doesn't care about your life, but he's not willing to sacrifice his own. You still believe in such a deceitful person? I have no choice but to retreat. Bai Shang said. No matter what, I will die. You won't let me go unless I kill my way out. Do you think you can still kill your way out? If it wasn't for the fact that there were too many people at the bank today and I had too many concerns, you wouldn't have been able to escape. Lin Gu sneered. Now that there are so many of us, do you think you can still escape? Then try. Bai Shang stared at Lin Gu. This was someone he had fought before. He knew that Lin Gu was right. He really didn't have a chance to escape. He was no longer facing an opponent. If you surrender now, you still have a chance. Su Yun said, explain all of your plans in detail and confess everything you need to confess. Perhaps you'll have a way out. Otherwise, treason is not a small matter. Bai Shang steeled his heart and decided to give it a try. He wasn't risking his life for the Japanese but for himself. If he could escape, then he would escape to a safe place. If he couldn't, then it wouldn't be too late to surrender. Don't talk so much nonsense. Everyone, get ready. Kill your way out. Use your lives to defend your dignity. Use your actions to show your loyalty to the Emperor. Kaneda Tekawawa shouted. He swung the katana in his hand and slashed it at Su Yun. Kaneda Tekawawa was a Tsurugawa Ryu who specialized in Ichikatsu Ryu. Ichikatsu Ryu's attack focused on cutting. Kaneda Tekawawa was the orthodox successor of Ichikatsu Ryu. He truly embodied the essence of Ichikatsu Ryu. This katana was extremely sharp. If Su Yun wasn't careful, it was very likely that something would be cut off. Kaneda Tekawawa's katana was very fast. It was so fast that even Su Yun couldn't see it with his naked eyes. Su Yun quickly realized that this guy didn't even make a move during the fight in front of the bank today. He was much faster than the other people. The other guys wearing white masks were also not sword-wielding warriors. Therefore, Kaneda Tekawawa's sudden attack caught Su Yun off guard. This attack completely ignited the battle between the two sides. The brothers of the Dragon Fury team also quickly joined the battle. Leave him alive. Hua Leitang roared and joined the battle. On the other hand, Lin Ji's target was Bai Sheng. Bai Sheng did not want to join the melee. He wanted to find a chance to escape. Unfortunately, he was already targeted by Lin Gu. When the battle started, Lin Gu had no intention of joining the battle. Instead, he blocked Bai Sheng's path. Looks like you really want me dead? Bai Sheng coldly took out a pair of sharp brass knuckles and put them on his hands. Then let me see if you have the ability to do so. Don't talk nonsense with me. If I don't catch you alive today, I'll change my surname tomorrow. Lin Gu didn't give Bai Sheng time to prepare. Taking advantage of the fact that his opponent wasn't ready, he immediately attacked. Bai Sheng couldn't react in time. He could only put on the brass knuckles on his right hand. His left hand was sent flying by Lin Ji's kick. The two of them quickly fell into a heated confrontation. Kaneda Tekawawa's katana was very fast. Every time it fell, it would almost slash across Su Yun's body. Su Yun was forced to take a few steps back by Kaneda Tekawawa. It wasn't unreasonable to say that an inch longer was an inch stronger. With a katana in hand, Kaneda Tekawawa made it difficult for Su Yun to get close to him. If he couldn't find a chance to attack in close range, Su Yun wouldn't be able to deal with this old man so easily. Boss, catch. Chen Feng threw his tactical dagger at Su Yun. He knew that his opponent's katana was too sharp. If Su Yun didn't have something handy, it would be difficult to deal with him. Su Yun caught the dagger. After fighting with Remnant, he learned his opponent's Dark Shadow 7 consecutive stabs. It seemed like it would come in handy now. Chapter 2386. Kaneda Tekawawa took advantage of the moment when Su Yun caught the dagger and charged forward, slashing down with his katana. The force was very strong. Su Yun could clearly feel the immense pressure from the blade. Die! Kaneda Tekawawa shouted angrily. He became one with his katana and slashed down on Su Yun. Fortunately, Su Yun's reaction was fast enough. The dagger in his hand met Kaneda Tekawawa's katana and blocked it. The two blades collided, producing a crisp sound of collision and sharp friction. Kaneda Tekawawa's katana pressed down on Su Yun's shoulder. Because the katana was long, Kaneda Tekawawa was able to take the lead. He knew his advantage too well. Therefore, he did not attack forcefully. Instead, he took a step back and maintained a distance from Su Yun. Kaneda Tekawawa knew very well that the shorter the dagger, the more dangerous it was. However, as long as Su Yun got close to him, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. The advantage of a katana was its mid-range attack. Once the two of them clashed at close range, Su Yun would have the absolute advantage. Kaneda Mugawa was not the only one who knew this simple logic. Su Yun was also very clear about it. Therefore, when Kaneda Mugawa was about to retreat to maintain a distance, Su Yun had already pounced forward and stabbed the dagger in his hand towards Kaneda Mugawa's face. This made Kaneda Tekawawa extremely passive. He did not expect Su Yun to take such a big risk. One should know that in this situation, the slightest mistake would cause him to be injured by the katana. Su Yun dared to do this because he was confident in his speed. Kaneda Tekawawa could not react in time. His footsteps were messed up and he retreated rapidly. He knew very well that if he was careless, the sharp dagger would pierce through his head. Su Yun's attack was too fast. After the fight with Kan Kong, Su Yun had completely grasped the essence of the Dark Puppet's 7 consecutive stabs. He did not completely copy the fixed moves of the Dark Puppet's 7 consecutive stabs. Instead, he applied it according to the actual situation. His first stab was aimed at Jintian Mugawa's face, catching him off guard. Just as Kaneda Tekawawa was about to lose all his strength, Su Yun's dagger suddenly changed direction and went straight for Kaneda Tekawa's left temple. Kaneda Takechan was shocked. He quickly raised his sword to block, but Su Yun's wrist turned. The dagger that was originally aimed at Kaneda Takechan's left temple drew a strange arc and attacked Kaneda Takechan's right temple. Kaneda Tekawawa was confused by Su Yun's unpredictable moves. Having lost the opportunity to block, he could only lower his head to dodge. At this moment, Su Yun changed his move again. He suddenly raised his dagger, grabbed the sharp blade with both hands, and stabbed it towards Kaneda Tekawa's head. This attack was too fast, and Kaneda Tekawawa was already staggering in order to avoid this fatal blow. Although Kaneda Tekawawa managed to dodge this attack with his excellent body coordination, Su Yun's attack towards his chest made him feel what it meant to be caught off guard. If it wasn't for the fact that he usually focused on the speed of his one-strike stream, this saber would have already pierced through his chest. Kaneda Tekawawa, who was only focused on retreating, did not have any ability to counterattack or parry. Su Yun's stab missed its target, and the dagger went straight for Kaneda Tekawawa's throat. Kaneda Tekawawa tilted his head back. Although he managed to dodge Su Yun's attack, his abdomen bulged as he tried to maintain his balance. This was Su Yun's best opportunity. Using the last move of the Dark Puppet's 7 consecutive stabs, Su Yun directly stabbed Kaneda Takewa's abdomen. Kaneda Takewa was forced into a corner by Su Yun. He no longer had the ability to dodge Su Yun's attack. Su Yun's dagger pierced through Kaneda Takewa's abdomen. Kaneda Takewa fell heavily, and the samurai sword in his hand fell to the ground. Kaneda Takewa covered his abdomen with his hand. Blood kept flowing out from the gaps between his fingers. This attack had doomed him. Kaneda Takewa's eyes widened. He still could not believe the situation he was in. He did not know if he should believe that he had failed, but the blood that kept flowing out from the gaps between his fingers told him that this was the truth. Kaneda Takewa's defeat greatly reduced their morale. Soon, all the masked men present were subdued by the brothers of the Dragon's Fury Special Forces. Bai Sheng, who had bitterly held on until now, realized that he had lost the upper hand. Facing Lin Ji's fierce attacks, he was already at a disadvantage. Now, Lin Ge was completely unrestrained. He did not need to worry about whether his actions would bring danger to the people around him. Therefore, Bai Sheng was really no match for him. I admit defeat. Bai Sheng suddenly gave up resisting. Lin Ge, who did not stop, still kicked Bai Sheng in the chest. Bai Sheng flew a few meters away. When he landed, he spat out a mouthful of blood. A complete victory. Lin Ge clapped his hands and snorted, "You're still too inexperienced to play with me. Unfortunately, you don't need to admit defeat now. All of you have lost." At this moment, all the masked men's necks bent, and they died on the ground with blood flowing out from their 7 orifices. Everyone was shocked. They had all committed suicide by consuming poison. Because of this great victory, everyone was in a good mood, so they temporarily relaxed their vigilance. In the blink of an eye, these people had all chosen to give up their lives. They would rather die than expose their identities. Dead men tell no tales, and no one could prove their identities. This way, those Japanese with ulterior motives would be buried, and no one could prove the ugly faces of the Japanese. Kaneda Takewa looked at all the people who had committed suicide, and a strange smile appeared on his face. He was very satisfied with this answer. At least, although he had failed the mission, he did not lose his honor. Just as everyone was still shocked by these people who had committed suicide, Kaneda Takewa picked up his katana that had fallen to the ground. "Stop!" Su Yun shouted, but it was already too late. Kaneda Takewa stabbed the katana into his abdomen. With a twist of the handle, he cut open his stomach. This guy chose to use the traditional method to kill himself at the last moment. This was a way to apologize for his failure in the mission. It was also a way to escape from the mission failure. He couldn't accept his failure, so he could only use this method to kill himself. Su Yun's brain instantly buzzed. These people's actions were completely out of his expectations. Su Yun originally thought that Kaneda Takewa was someone who valued his own life, but he still underestimated the extent of these people's stupidity. "Brother, these bastards are playing too big." Lin Ge looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Are they really dead? Han Zhan walked past everyone who had fallen to the ground and confirmed their deaths one by one. "Boss, they are all dead. Not a single one is left alive." Su Yun closed his eyes and took a few deep breaths. I really shouldn't have underestimated the extent of these people's stupidity. Damn it! What else could they use to question the bastard who arranged this matter in Japan? There's one more. Lin Ge lifted Bai Sheng up. "This guy is not dead. Look at his cowardly appearance. He doesn't dare to commit suicide. I give up resisting. Don't kill me. I will say anything you want me to say," Bai Sheng quickly said. This guy could say anything, but at the end of the day, he was just an idiot who was used by the Japanese. Bringing him in front of the Japanese was not convincing at all. The Japanese would not admit it either. Because this bastard was a fucking Hua Xia. Bai Sheng got up and walked quickly to Su Yun. "I will cooperate with you. I will cooperate with you in everything. Be honest and give me a way out. Get lost." Su Yun kicked Bai Sheng away again. He didn't want to see this trash now. If it wasn't for this trash, these sad things wouldn't have happened today. Lin Ge stepped forward and stepped on by Shang to prevent him from going against Su Yun. "Boss, you don't have to be so upset," Han Zhan said. "Didn't we bring one back? There's still one alive." Su Yun took a deep breath. That's right, there was still one alive. Hopefully, the last one would still be useful. Alright, clean up this place as soon as possible. Bring this person back as well. We will return to the team as soon as possible. Although Su Yun managed to settle everything before today, he was very dissatisfied with the outcome. These brainwashed people were really pitiful. They died just like that. They died completely. They didn't even leave him a chance. After settling this matter, Su Yun suddenly thought of Chong Mo. He didn't know how she was doing now. Although Hua Xiaolu and Gong Sun Lang were smart, Chong Mo couldn't be underestimated. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to find a chance to escape under such circumstances. Chapter 2387. After Su Yun led his team back to the Dragon Brigade, he immediately reported everything that had happened today to Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi. Bai Sheng had been detained and was preparing to be interrogated. He believed that he would reveal everything he knew. Unfortunately, those people were all dead. Wang Yi sighed. "I have another piece of bad news to tell you. The person Han Zhan brought back is dead." "What?" Su Yun's mind buzzed. They were all dead now. Everyone from the Sakura group who was involved in this matter was dead. Only Bai Sheng was left. As a Chinese, how could they question the Japanese? Wang Yi was also having a headache over this matter. "I didn't expect the Sakura group to be so. They're all dead. It looks like we don't have any witnesses this time. How did he die?" Su Yun could not understand how the controlled person committed suicide. Wasn't the poison hidden in his mouth removed by Qian Feng? Did they have other ways to commit suicide? Biting his tongue, Wang Yi said, and swallowing his tongue. Because of the bleeding, the blood entered his lungs, causing him to suffocate and die. Su Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. It seemed that these people had really been brainwashed into absolute puppets. They didn't treat themselves as humans at all. Su Yun really could not understand. Why did these people do it? Just for that bull*** tea god? Wan Guangxiao's face was dark and he did not speak. This matter was very important, and he was under a lot of pressure. Now that everyone was dead, it was difficult for him to write this report. But the truth was the truth. He was powerless to change the situation. He could only tell the truth. "Su Yun, don't put too much pressure on this matter," Wan Guangxiao said. "I'll find a way to deal with the rest. I won't put you under any more pressure. You've already done too much for the Ebola virus weapon." Su Yun shook his head. "I don't feel any pressure. I just feel that it's such a pity. Those bastards clearly did such a despicable thing, but we can't prove it." "That's nothing," Wan Guangxiao said indifferently. "We already know the attitude of those in power in Japan. Not to mention that they won't admit to anything without evidence. Even if they have evidence, won't they still not admit to it?" Thinking about it, some Japanese were indeed like this. So what if Su Yun had evidence? Even if these people didn't die, would the Japanese government admit to it? Thinking back to what had happened in the past, Vautrin's diary had recorded that the Japanese army had chosen women from the refugee camps to comfort the soldiers. The female writer Yen Gelying had turned it into a novel, The 13 Hairpins of Jinling. It told the story of 13 prostitutes who volunteered to replace female students as comfort women for the Japanese army. British reporters had reported that in Nanjing back then, cars had to run over corpses to drive. They had personally witnessed their wanton rape, plunder, and murder. German diplomats and citizens had also recorded a large number of atrocities committed by the Japanese. They didn't discriminate between the old and the young. Moreover, after the Japanese army had committed violence, they would often kill Hua Xia women. Later, Ms. Zhang Chuanru published a book, Nanjing Atrocities, The Forgotten Massacre, exposing the atrocities committed by the Japanese at that time. These were all facts. So many pairs of eyes around the world had proven these facts. But how did the Japanese do it? The right-wing forces in Japan were terrified because someone had ruined their 100-year plan to whitewash Japan's history and rewrite the history of the world. There was a big sh*T from the American Empire called Tang Kunihiko. He even held a press conference in Washington. He wantonly attacked this book, saying that it was a book that distorted history. He even used the so-called research results of the Japanese right wing to attack the photos in the book as fake. Those who had read this bloody history book should be very clear. Beheading, burning, burying alive, drowning in a cesspool, digging out hearts, dismembering bodies. It was a nightmare that made people tremble and lose sleep. However, even so, those bastards in Japan still refused to admit this fact. They still continued to bury this fact. In the face of so much evidence, they still insisted that it was dog sh*T. How could these damn Japanese right-wing elements admit these facts? Therefore, even if Kaneda Takewawa and the rest of the Sakura group did not die, the Japanese would probably not admit that they had done these things, nor would they admit that they had an organization like the Sakura group. They would also not admit that Kaneda Takewawa and the rest were arranged by them. Wan Guangxiao only wanted to tell Su Yun that he did not have to worry about these things. Although these things could let the international community see the ugly side of Japan, they would not let them admit it themselves. In any case, everyone on Earth knew the ugly faces of the Japanese right-wingers. So what if there was one more incident? This only proved that the Japanese right wing was guilty. The more guilty they were, the more afraid they were, the more despicable and shameful they would do such things. It doesn't matter if they admit it or not. This is the truth. I won't let them off easily. Su Yun said, those bastards actually dared to set their sights on the Ebola virus weapon. I can only imagine what they're up to. Wan Guangxiao nodded. We have to admit this. We will always have to defend against those Japanese who refuse to give up. The right wing will never be destroyed, because that is the innate despicable nature of a certain kind of people in Japan. I just think that we're being too kind. As soon as you give the order, I'll bring all the brothers of the Divine Dragon Brigade and sneak into Tokyo. Give me 3 days. I'll definitely let those extreme right-wing people in Japan know that they shouldn't think that China is a country that can be bullied so easily. If they still dare to think of war now, I'll flatten Tokyo in a week. I know what you are thinking, but you can't be agitated. Wan Guangxiao said, right now, our Huaxia advocates peace. Our Huaxia has always been the greatest contribution to human peace. This is what is truly meaningful. If you are so agitated, what is the difference between you and those Japanese right-wing elements? Su Yun clenched his fists. Of course there is a difference. I won't do anything to others. If I want to do something, I will do it to those right-wing bastards. Let them die with a clear understanding of what happened. You are still too young. We had the same thoughts when we were young. Wang Yi smiled. But as time passed, we realized that this is not a problem that can be solved in a short period of time. We definitely can't do that. We are not those Japanese right-wing bastards. We have to face them openly. I'm just afraid that they are too despicable. Su Yun gritted his teeth in hatred. I don't know when they set their sights on the Ebola virus weapon. I believe that when the Ebola virus weapon was stolen from the European Union's weapons research station, they had already set their sights on it. Wan Guangxiao said, and they might have contacted the seller, Heaven's Eye. However, Heaven's Eye is still very clear. He would rather sell this thing to a guy from a club in Hong Kong and Macau than sell it to the Japanese. Su Yun clenched his fists so tightly that they made cracking sounds. Fortunately, Heavenly Eye's people were not that muddle-headed. Otherwise, all of this would be much more terrifying. If something as dangerous as the Ebola virus weapon was obtained by the Japanese right-wing elements, it would be troublesome. Because those people would definitely use the Ebola virus weapon to threaten Huaxia. At that time, this matter would not be so simple. It would only become more and more complicated, and more difficult to solve. Since the Japanese have set their sights on the Ebola virus weapon so quickly, they must have made other arrangements. They won't act so easily. Some arrangement must have failed, so they had no choice but to arrange for people to act in Huaxia. Wan Guangxiao said, "The Japanese are not stupid. They know where to go and where not to go." Su Yun was suddenly stunned. When Wan Guangxiao said this, he suddenly thought of someone. That's right, the person he thought of was that damned fifth master Chao Kaiyu. He must have made some kind of improper deal with the Japanese. That was why the Japanese had already come to the mainland when they were still in Taiwan. When Chao Kaiyu was confirmed to have failed, Kaneda Takewa could not wait to arrange for Bai Shang to make the corresponding arrangements immediately. That was why the current situation was created. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.